with Tracy Evans, and then Pearlywinks are to follow a little later on.
Hi, I'm Barbara Gray from Clarity Stamp Limited. We're well known in the industry for designing and manufacturing top quality, award-winning craft products. As with all craft projects, you need a good starting place, a great stamp, a top quality stencil, and in recent times we've developed the groovy parchment art system so that your line art is perfect on parchment. Another exciting development to come from the marriage between parchment and our stamp company is the fabulous designer papers and now the designer parchment. There is nothing like it. Each groovy plate is etched, and by simply getting in the groove with a stylus, you can easily transfer great designs onto parchment. Groovy is a modular system. The plates complement each other and work beautifully together. They are packed with elements and allow you to build your own original artwork. Whether you're a novice or a traditional parcher, you will love these plates. And for me personally, having beautiful line art is what motivated me to want to learn traditional parchment skills. So why not get in the groove with us here on Hochanda?
Hi, my name is Blanche Siegmann. I'm the owner of the company La Blanche. The company La Blanche is a crafting company located in Germany. For over 20 years I'm designing and selling stamps, paper crafting products and home decoration. As a passionate crafter myself, I make sure all our products are of highest quality and easy to use. We produce a whole range of products. We produce paper products. We have also shrink sleeves for your jars, glasses. We have home decoration products, paints and wall decals. Everything, the whole range of crafting we produce for you. I hope you enjoy watching us at Hochanda and crafting with La Blanche.
Super excited. This is my first craft along. Very, very happy about this. So we have got the ladies here. Do you want to give us a wave? This is Tracy and Joe, of course. There we go. Now, a quick mention about the craft along, because there was a little bit of prep for you to do. If you're literally just joining us for the first time and you think, oh, I'd like to join in, then Tracy has been posting for a good couple of weeks now on her Facebook page. So find Tracy Evans on Facebook. She's also posted on Crafting with Hochanda, and also on AALL and Create Fanatics Facebook page as well. It won't take you very long, so while I'm having a little chat and then we're going to chat to the ladies, then you'll be able to do that prep. But Tracy's been putting it on every week now for about a month or 6 weeks or so, so it's there. Now, this is what you've hopefully ordered. Again, you can still order it because you can watch this on rewind if you want to, and I think it's available for at least a month, I believe. So this is what hopefully you've ordered. You've got it ready, you've got your prep done, and waiting to see this. This is what we're going to be making. I'm going to be able to make this as well. Yoo-hoo! So this is where we're going with it. I love these stamps. Aren't they fantastic? And I know Tracy and Joe are going to be doing loads and loads of different techniques. So it's going to be a really, really fun-filled hour. Now, watch out for the details on the screen. They might change accordingly, again, if it's something that you see on the show and you think, oh, I'd quite like that. So there we go. Also, we have got Facebook Live running, so if you've got any questions, I can keep an eye on the tablet and we can ask Tracy and Joe as we go along. So Facebook Live is up and running. Now, if you need to know what you need to have, you can go to the website. Here it is. Lovely jubbly. And this is what you need. Again, just in case you want to watch this on rewind. So you need your Craftalong stamps, AALL and Create mesh stamp, I believe that says. That's optional. Totally dotty stencil, gel press, brayer. So it's all on there. The embroidery hoop if you can. Paints, VersaFines. A lot of this stuff you'll probably already have in your crafty stash anyway, but again, just to flash this up if you're going to be watching this on Rewind later on as well. But now, without further ado, here we go. So, Tracy.
Hello.
Hi, Alex.
Joe, hello.
Hi, Alex.
This is going to be good. So, Tracy, you're going to be talking us through this, and we're crafting along?
Yes, I'm going to talk through all the stages, step by step.
Yep.
Nice, steady pace, especially for my friend Leslie,
Right.
who likes everything nice and slow and steady. So, my challenge for this hour is to make sure that Leslie can keep up.
Okay, righty-ho. This is good.
So, first of all, I'd just like to say good afternoon to everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for the Craftalong. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you have any questions or I'm going too fast or you can't keep up, please message us on the Facebook Live. That'd be brilliant. And if you want to be a part of the show, that'd be wonderful. I'd also like to say a big thank you to Gina, who sent me some lovely biscuits and chocolates and a lovely card. Thank you, Gina Bell. That's much appreciated. And just a little bit about the prep. Something may have been lost in translation. I will take the blame for this. Now, in my prep, I did mention, please stain a tea bag. Now, this is why you shouldn't take things for granted. What I meant was, could you please stain a tea bag like so that you have the tea bag case. My lovely friend, Jo, who's with me today, who you've all met now, Jo Rice, nicely stained me some tea bags with the tea still in there. So I do apologise if you took me literally and thought that I meant tea bags with tea physically in there. I actually need you to create the tea bag, not the actual tea leaves. So thanks for that, Jo.
I'm sure it's not just me. I'm sure there must be others. So please let us know. Please.
So you've got time to quickly chop open the tea
Yes,
bags
yeah.
and let the tea out.
And do some tea leaf reading while you're at it.
So I thought I'd at least admit that it may have been lost in translation. But there's always something with the Tracy Evans live situation anyway. So I'm hoping that you've all watched the prep and read the prep.
Yeah.
Our first step, which we've all got prepped hopefully, was to draw around an embroidery hoop and to draw around the outside edge of the hoop. We don't want to draw on the inside because then your piece will be too small for your hoop. Now, if you're not using a hoop, don't worry, you will have drawn around a plate or whatever. Your circle can be whatever size you choose. Don't be limited to what I say or what I do. Just go with the flow and wherever inspiration takes you. So we're now starting, hopefully, Alex, you've got a piece of acetate, which Jo has lovely put a nice purple
thanks.
dot on for
Oh,
you.
no, you can never find acetate, can you?
So
Well,
that's
Jo
why
is
you've got
very
purple
organised.
dot, you see.
Got you.
I didn't, I just hope for the best. So you take your piece of acetate or a piece of recycled packaging, so you could use your stamp packaging, and we're using Distress Oxide inks. So what we're doing, do we have the project, Alex?
Oh, I had one job.
Shall I go and get it?
No, it's all right. He's coming.
Oh, look at
One
him
job.
It's like
Told you,
Superman.
it's a Tracy Evans live. This has to happen.
It's the hoop behind.
So do bear with us a moment.
It's right there. Sorry, Tracy.
I'm such a professional. So what we're doing is we're creating the circular piece.
Right.
I hold it to the correct camera. I was told to hold it down or hold it to the correct camera. So what we're doing is we're creating this background piece. Now, what happens when you do a show normally on Hochanda, we create quick backgrounds and it's a little bit of a rush because we need to get to the stamping, etc. The one advantage of the Craftalong is that we can take our time and I can create the background exactly how I'd create it at home. So that's my plan for the next couple of hours. So we're starting with our lightest colour first, which is our Distress Oxide Twisted Citron. And I'm not going to rush any of these processes, so don't worry, I'll keep pausing so that you can keep catching up. We're going to use the Distress Oxide ink and we're going to smoosh the ink.
Oh, got one. Okay.
Smoosh your ink onto your acetate. Now what I don't want you to do is don't go like that and press. Can you see how you've got a square indentation? You don't want that because you'll end up with those lines on your project. You need to smoosh your ink. Smoosh it so you've got no lines. So smoosh it more, that's it, Alex, so you end up with no squareness. So swipe it if necessary. That's it, Alex, thank you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spritz. We're going to spritz the acetate with water. Just a nice light spritz so that you've got this. You've got some nice beads of ink. Keep it held down, Tracy, as if you're doing a Facebook Live. And then place your acetate on to your card and smoosh your ink.
Word.
Smoosh. Now, can you see that we've now got, when you've smooshed it, you've still got plenty of ink on your acetate. You still want to use that, so move it around your card. And the colour obviously gets lighter and lighter. But what you want is you want these sort of dotty bits. You've got a whole block of area here and you end up with these dotty bits as well. You actually want those because that adds to the interest. So then spritz your acetate with a bit more water and layer the ink again. And just keep applying that ink all around your circle. You're not thinking about it too much. You don't want something that's too regimented. You're going for a more random look.
Now mine's quite light. Do I need some more?
So no, you don't worry about that because all we're doing, Alex, is we're adding light layers.
Right.
And what I do with my backgrounds is it doesn't matter how light the first layer is, we're taking time to build that up.
Brilliant.
And that's what we've got. This is a wonderful platform with Hochanda because it means that with a Craftalong you don't have to rush.
Cool.
So what we do then is you then apply another layer of ink to your acetate and repeat the same process.
Same
Again,
colour?
same colour. And then spritz with water. And what people tend to do is they tend to concentrate on one area. So you can, if you want, you can lift the acetate like so, and this gives the ink a different look. So it's just smooshing the ink around your card. Now, you don't want, your aim is not to completely cover the whole area. The idea is that you leave some white space because that white space is pleasing to the eye. So you need to keep that white space. So again, you're adding layers.
Yep.
And if you notice,
Ooh,
because you're using the oxides, what you'll also notice, Alex, is your ink pad is also used a lot more than mine. You've got an older ink pad, so your colour might be a bit paler.
Right.
So what I'll do is, when I've done my next layer here, I'll pass you my new ink pad and you can get some darker tones.
Okay.
Can you see here, if we can just come down into the camera, you see it's getting darker here. We're getting some darker shades and you're getting some cloudiness. Tim Holtz, the man of craft, often says oxidisation. That just makes you sound clever. All it means is it's going cloudy. For us menials here like me, it just means it's going cloudy. And that's what you want. And that's what adding the water does. It makes the whole thing oxidise.
Right.
So I'll just add a bit more ink, Alex, with the same colour, a third layer. You take this ink pad and you'll get some darkness to your layers.
Cool, thank you.
It's good to have some dry ink pads. It's good that we have that because sometimes when you've got a dry ink pad that's a little bit less juicy,
Yeah.
that can be used for different techniques.
Cool.
So give that a spritz again.
Lovely.
And what I call this is a one-dimensional layer of ink. It's just adding one layer of ink. You're doing nothing more. But sometimes when we do projects, we're in so much of a rush, we think, oh, that'll do. Well, that isn't how you get the depth. That isn't how you get the oomph to your projects. You need to take the time to add other layers of colour. And as you notice, I'm not using a heat tool. And I'm not using a heat tool because if you heat your inks, which sometimes we have to, sometimes time constraints mean that we have to heat dry this ink. If you can leave that to dry naturally, it is much better because you're not forcing the ink down into the card, so your colours end up more vibrant.
Lovely.
So that's much better that way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move to our second colour. It doesn't matter about wiping the acetate, it's just I've got a bit more water than needed. So what we're going to go to then
thank you.
is we're going to go to our evergreen bow. You don't have to clean your acetate too much, it's just as long as you've got rid of the thick layers. That's all you need to worry about.
Because are you not contaminating the other pad? It's
No,
all right.
The good thing about these, Alex, it's a good question, and that's why it's good to have somebody who's never done a Craftalong before, because you ask the questions that maybe preempts the viewers.
Yeah.
with the oxides, if you contaminate, I mean, we've gone from light to dark,
Yeah.
so you won't contaminate anyway. But if you suddenly made a mistake and you did it the opposite way round, you can just swipe these inks, and because they've got a pigment in them, because they're a pigment dye fusion,
Right.
because they've got pigment in them, you can just swipe it and the ink pad's all clear again.
Brilliant.
So no problem at all.
Good.
So we're now going to our next layer, which is evergreen bow. And again, you're repeating the same process. Remember, don't put squares onto your acetate. Make sure you smoosh that ink so you get a nice blend.
How are you doing,
Word,
Jo?
isn't it? Smoosh.
Smoosh, I know.
Did you know you're going to spend the afternoon smooshing?
No, I didn't.
Apparently, when Jo's on a workshop, she gets everybody to smoosh on a
Yeah, you have
workshop.
to do.
Smoosh.
You have to move the hips when you
Do you?
smoosh. Yeah.
Now, you didn't realise that you were going to be dancing on the live as well, did you? Now, if you've got any pictures and you want to share
yes, please.
any process pictures, please share them with us on the Facebook Live. That would be wonderful, even if it's just a picture of your teacup. Because that was the inspiration for the stamps. The actual paintbrush, my lovely friend Anne Redfern asked if I'd design a paintbrush, and the cup came hand in hand with the paintbrush, because those are the two things that are on my desk the whole time, a paintbrush and a teacup. And more often than not, the paintbrush ends up in the teacup. Yes. And you guessed it, I do drink the tea when it's been in my tea. Yes.
Leonie
yes.
does that too.
Yeah, I'm terrible. So what we need to do now is you're adding this darker layer. And as you can see, you don't want to overpower it. That's lovely.
Yeah, I'm
see,
happy
what
with
you've
that.
got here, Alex, is you've got these nice dots, and you want these dots, which is what you get when you've got less ink. And Jo's got exactly the same.
That's cool.
When you've got
Jo's.
less ink on your acetate, you get these dot effects, which is what you want. So you keep adding that. Now, what I do is when I'm at home, sometimes I take a photograph of this stage and think, well, I'm happy with that when I look at it in the photograph and just see if. Now, if I bring in one that I've done earlier, let me show you why you're layering up the colours. So let's hope I'm doing this right for the cameras. Can you see the difference in the depth of colour that I've got on the right-hand one?
Oh, we're just coming to you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Can you see on the right-hand one, my right hand here?
Yeah.
That has got a lot more depth to the one on the left. I'm hoping that the viewers at home can see that. And this is why we take our time to add these layers to this process. So we're going to continue with this.
I feel like it starts to look like a planet, actually.
Yeah.
It's just richer because you've got richer tones in there, and that's what you're aiming for. So you go back to your evergreen bow.
Choose that one. It's a slightly different, even though they're the same colour.
Oh, you
it's
sure?
a slightly different tone to it.
Am I all right to show yours, Jo, where we're at? Because this
Yeah.
is so different as well. Like, it's really awesome with all the little
Yeah.
bubbles and dots and
Well, that's the
everything.
thing, you never get the same thing twice, do
No.
you, Tracy? You can do this 2 times and they just won't look the same.
No.
There you go, thank you.
The process is never the same. Yours will look different at home compared to mine, Alex, or Jo's.
Yeah.
But for me, that's what being creative is all about. You don't want your project to look exactly the same as mine. And plus, not everybody might like the project I've done. They might want to do a version of the project. That's no reflection on your project. That just means that somebody's got a different taste to you. You know, art is very subjective, and that's why it's good to go off on your own tangents.
Yeah.
So you need to add another layer. And it's just having the patience when you're at home, not to rush things, and just to take your time. Just to keep adding those layers.
Absolutely. We've had a few people who have done the tea bag thing.
I knew it.
Oh God, it's not just me.
I just knew. You see, next time I will put tea bag, cut open, empty contents, and stain the tea bag.
See, I would have done that. I was so proud of myself that I brought 4.
Oh, come on. Those people that watch me live know that there's always something that I do live. I have to let myself down somehow. Come on.
No, it's all
I have to
good.
prove I'm just natural. It's just the way I am. Now, I'm quite happy with my layer of colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going now to add another colour with more oomph.
Oh, nice.
So we're now going to peacock feathers. So we'll share this one, Alex.
Sure.
We haven't got peacock feathers there.
Not a problem.
So this is a more powerful colour. For me personally, I don't go heavy on that colour. I go very light.
Right.
So I don't go too heavy. So I'm just going to spritz with the peacock feathers, and again go nice and light. And to go even lighter, if it's too dark for you, I lift my acetate. I lift my acetate and don't press it. If you're smooshing, you're going like that. If you're not smooshing, you're lifting it up and just doing this. So I think I'd like a little bit more of that colour.
It's just there.
That's the thing, Alex, I've got so many things on my desk, I can't actually see anything. But then hopefully crafters can relate to that.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
can relate to the fact that you can't find anything.
That's just like being at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's much better. I'm getting more depth of colour now into my design. So I'm hoping that everybody at home is keeping up nicely. And Leslie, especially for you, I hope you're still keeping up with this nice, slow process. I like the viewers to realise that I do remember what they say to me
nice.
sometimes. I know Fee, I think, goes on Joe's workshops and mentioned to me that she was going to die cut her circle out
nice, okay.
and have a decal edge. So everybody's entirely different.
Absolutely. It's the joy of crafting.
Exactly.
Do you know, it's so nice to be crafting because I haven't had much time to do any.
You've not done very well either, have you?
No, I haven't. So, and my mojo had completely gone then.
To be honest,
so
I
this is
think
really
that happens
nice.
in January as well.
Yeah.
I needed a bit of a kick in January.
I think a lot of people are tired as well, sort of after Christmas, after New Year. January almost want just to relax and rest, and you don't know where to start again, do you?
So this is perfect, isn't it?
The problem is when you've got shows though and a Chandra Live, you've got your samples.
True.
I have to keep pushing myself. So now we're moving to our next colour, and this is just, that's lovely, Alex.
I'm not happy with
Yeah,
that.
it's lovely.
Thank
So
you.
I'm just going to add a light layer of mowed lawn. And mowed lawn is slightly richer in colour. So I'm just adding a touch of that,
Thank you.
Alex. As you can see, I've not added much.
Oh, I keep doing that with the lid, sorry.
I like it because I've got Alex, because she makes me feel so natural. That's what I do all the time. So it's wonderful to have Joe and Alex because they make all the mistakes that I make.
Absolutely.
So we're now going to spritz that mowed lawn, and you're going to add that light colour. And I just want touches of this. I don't want it to be too overpowering.
Tracy, mine's a little bit wet, so I've just dabbed a little bit of mine off.
Yes.
Is that all right?
Yes, you can, yes. If it is, that's why you've added 2 layers of card together. So that it can take the water and the ink,
Yeah.
Joe. If you want to dab it, you can, because that will also give a different effect. The only reason sometimes I don't dab is because that prevents the oxidisation. You get less oxidisation the more you dab. So your oxidisation is happening here, you see, Alex.
Nice.
All here, you're getting the cloudiness. So, and each one of our projects looks completely different. Now, I think I'm quite happy with mine. Hopefully you're quite happy with yours.
Yeah, I am.
Hopefully everybody at home has got something similar or something that you're happy with. And what we're going to do is, I don't want to dry that, so I've had to think about how it's going to work when I'm demoing it to you. So I've done some things maybe in a little bit of a different order than I would do at home, mainly because I'm trying to show you why I'm not using the heat gun. It's because I want that intensity of colour to remain. I don't want to wash out that intensity of colour by drying it with a heat tool. So we'll move that to one side. And I'm hoping you can all reach for a spare piece of scrap card. So just a scrap piece of card, doesn't have to be cut perfectly like mine, it can be torn. So reach over to your desks and tear a piece of white card. Just make sure that your cup, this area, will fit onto your piece of card. You're not doing anything with it now, just make sure that that image will fit on your card. Obviously, Joe and Alex, you know yours will fit because I've measured it for you.
Thank you.
So what you need to do now is just add a little bit of colour. Doesn't matter what colour you choose. Let me just bring the project in again. If I leave it here, then hopefully the cameras... Is that okay if I leave it here? Yes?
Yep, there we go.
Here you can see that I've got a tea bag on my cup. The actual edge of the tea bag is here. I wanted the edge of my tea bag.
Oh.
Now, I coloured the card underneath for a just in case I miss some of the tea bag, which is not a problem, but it means that if I colour the card first, I won't be left with a white space. That's the reason that we're colouring this scrap piece of card. Okay, so what you need to do now is pick the colour, your chosen colour, and just smoosh a bit of ink onto your scrap piece of card. I'm going to start the same process, you only need a little bit of ink.
Tracy, what would your opinion be? Because that's quite dark. Should I go for dramatic dark, or would you suggest lighter?
I would probably go lighter, but also it's not going to matter anyway because your tea bag is going to cover all the area.
Right.
So you want your tea bag to have that lightness. Can you just see, I don't think you can see, Alex, you can just see hints of the blue. You might not catch it on camera, but if you can just get the hints of green, it'll keep the lightness to your design.
Got you.
And when your embroidery hoop goes over, it'll cover some of this white area up.
Right.
But you've got these lovely white spaces here, so that will counterbalance it.
Marvellous. So I'll go for twisted citron then.
And I'm just going for twisted citron and a touch of evergreen bow. To be honest, don't stress about it. It really isn't important. So just, because this piece of card is just for your tea bag. Not your tea bag that Joe has made with the tea leaves in it. The tea bag cover.
Somebody's mentioned coffee. I don't know how that's...
Yeah, you can use coffee filters as well. That's absolutely fine. Use coffee filters. No problem at all. So with this one, we'll just let Alex catch up with a bit of the colour.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Did you do
no
another
rush,
colour?
Alex. Yes, I did another colour, but there's no rush. We'll just let Joe and Alex catch up, and so that gives you time at home just to catch up a little bit in case you needed to grab some white card.
Lovely. Okay.
And this really is me being a bit pernickety. It's not a necessity, but I don't like it if I'm stamping my image onto a tea bag and then I've got white space underneath. It just sort of doesn't go with the theme. For me personally, that's perfect. You can leave it at that, Alex.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
How's
what
yours
we need
looking?
to
Pale and
do...
interesting.
Pale.
No, pale and interesting
It's
is
good.
fine. Now, for this one, we're going to dry the card a little bit because this one doesn't matter if I keep the intensity of colour or not. So just give it a little waft with your heat tool. Alex, you've got one there.
Have I?
Black one.
Oh, yes.
See, I was quite organised.
This is cool. I tell you what, just while we're wafting, we'll just take another quick breather if that's
Yes,
all right.
that's lovely.
How long is the Freedom video? 2 minutes. So you've also got 2 minutes in case you've already caught up to get a brew. Okay, right. Here we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello everyone, I've got a minute or two to tell you why you should all be members of Hochanda Freedom. Did you know that with Hochanda Freedom you could be saving on your deliveries every single month? For just a £6.97 monthly fee, you'll benefit from unlimited standard delivery, which means the more you spend with us, the more you save. And do you know the best bit? You can cancel at any time. Becoming a member of Hochanda Freedom, you'll also be able to take advantage of our exclusive Freedom members discounts, where you can save anything up to 20% on an already fantastic Hochanda price. Freedom members will also receive our exclusive members badge and Freedom newsletter, which will keep you updated with all the goings on behind the scenes. Look at all these benefits for £6.97 per month. Over 12,000 of you are already members, and we thank you so much for being part of our family and sharing your crafting passion with us. In fact, I'm going to hand over to you to tell everyone else about your experience with Hochanda Freedom.
I'm a Freedom member, which means I can shop a lot.
It's the discounts and all the special offers you get.
I get special offers, I get special discounts. They tell me when everything's happening. So if there's a special show I want to watch, then it's there. I'm able to just shop when I'd like.
It's just good to have. Yes, you do save. If you buy like I do, you save.
You see, you could be a member instantly for £6.97 per month with no monthly obligation. So when you want to cancel, you can. Just give us a call or go to our website quoting the item number 888 888. So, don't forget you get your unlimited standard delivery, exclusive Freedom discounts, members badge and members newsletter. What are you waiting for? Join Hochanda Freedom today and become a member of the growing Hochanda family.
Hello. So we were just looking at Facebook Live, seeing your questions and all. So Tracy has said, no,
Nicola.
Tracy. Sorry, Tracy. Nicola has said, what's the brown paper on Tracy's glass mat?
Do you mean this, Nicola? This is my non-stick craft sheet. I always work on a non-stick craft sheet, but you can work on a glass mat, whichever your preference is. I'm just old-fashioned and I don't bin anything. I know sometimes a lot of new products come out, but this works perfectly, so this is just a non-stick craft sheet. I hope that answers your question.
Cool. And then again, just if you're catching up, just a few samples, because now you've got obviously the stamps at home.
Yes.
You can be doing these projects as well, because I bet you any money, once you finish the Craftalong, you'll be like, I want to do something else now. So good luck to all of your other halves who are expecting dinner.
No Sunday roast today.
That's cool. Look at all of this. That's amazing. Oh, you've actually cut that
That's
as well.
Anne Redfern.
Yeah, that's just
Isn't it lovely?
beautiful. They're amazing samples. And we've got one more.
And
Is
that's
this
by
yours?
Jo. That's
mine,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is awesome. Look at that. And has it actually got tea
It
inside?
has. Little
Open
tea
it,
bags.
Joe's decorated the inside.
Fruit
Amazing.
tea bags.
What a gift to give to... Gosh, that smells nice as
Yes,
well.
yeah.
What a gift to give to somebody. We just thought we'd show a few of those as well.
Now, you've been sending in your pictures. Sheila is crafting along. Thanks, Sheila. Here we go.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yay.
Thanks, Sheila.
Look, you're very organised as well. Everything's laid out nicely.
I could do with as much space as you've got, Sheila, to be honest. I seem to have half the space.
Oh, really? Very nice.
See, you're sharing your space with us.
Yes, I'm sharing my space, so...
Cool. Right, so we can... Do you want to carry on?
I was just going to mention, Alex, your
sure.
background here. If you've got a background like Alex's, which is lovely, you could actually keep this as a background and create another one, because this one would look lovely with one of the flowers in the actual teacup set. One of the flowers would look lovely, just stamped on the side here with Alex's background. So sometimes don't be in a rush to bin something. Create a second background when it looks nice like that. I wouldn't want to use that.
Thank you. Oh, bless you. Yay. And yours, I really like yours because it's really soft.
It just shows you the different effect you can get.
I'll just lift it. There we go. There we go. There we go. So that's
Totally
a nice other
different.
one. Yeah.
Totally different.
Same colours, but just different.
Yeah. Cool. There we go.
But that's how you all approach crafting. And that's why I say there's never any mistakes, because it doesn't matter. As long as you've enjoyed the process, it really doesn't matter.
Good.
So now I'm hoping in that 2-minute
Tea
break,
bag.
you've all got
thank you.
a tea bag. A tea bag with no contents. So it's literally the empty tea bag that is just stained. Okay.
And a square tea bag. You see, mine were round. You didn't say what shape.
Most of mine at home are round, but I like the square one. But it really doesn't matter. You can use coffee filters. The reason for the tea bag for me, or a coffee filter, because I was using a cup, sometimes when I'm designing sometimes I like you to think that I've put some thought into my project, that I haven't just chucked it together. I've thought about the process, I've thought about why I've designed the stamp, and for me, a tea bag seemed the logical thing. You know, you could even put a tea bag inside the cup. You could 3D the cup and then add a tea bag inside and send that as a gift to somebody. So it's just thinking outside the box. And for me, adding a tea bag to the stamp image just seemed a logical thing to do. It just seemed like a nice little touch. It might only be a delicate touch, but I like those little touches. So what we've got is we've got some matte medium.
Ooh.
And we're going to use our best tools, which are our fingers. You're going to share this one with me, Alex?
Sure. Okay.
We do share sometimes.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good.
So we've got our matte medium, and the reason I'm using a matte medium is it's a nice glue, it's nice and runny, so it's ideal. I'm going to just dip my finger in.
This is going to be difficult for me.
Just dip your finger in, come on, and just smear it across your card.
Just on the coloured bits?
Yeah, just smear it. So wherever you're going to put your tea bag, smear some of the... You know you love to get your fingers messy.
Alex, we have wet wipes ready. Look.
Now, just imagine if I'd got Phil Martin or somebody. Could you imagine? Sorry, Phil. So, what you're going to do is you're going to place your tea bag on the top.
There we go. There's a bit more there as well. Right.
So, place your tea bag on that moist... Oh, I know people don't like that word, I'm sorry. On the moist area, and then just move it. Because you don't want to tear your tea bag. Take your adhesive and swipe it away from your body, so that you're not going to rip the tea bag. Now swipe it away till you've got a good adhesion with the tea bag. Just keep swiping that, like so.
Oh, everybody's really enjoying this at home, you know.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining in, it's cool.
It does mean a lot when you join in, you know. Don't take it for granted that, you know, it's a Sunday afternoon and you're all joining me. I love the fact that you're all there with me creating. So we're now going to, once you've got a nice even coat of that, just make sure you've not got too many bubbles, and just give it, once you've got the glue on there, it's quite protected. So you end up, if I just leave that there, you end up with a nice tea bag flat onto your surface. Okay, sorry Alex,
that's all right.
It's just used to me putting my lids on things.
That's good, good practice. There we go.
And then you can stop panicking, then you can wipe your fingers.
Yeah, cool. Shall I pop the lid on?
Yes, thank you, Alex. So we're going to put that on one side to dry. We could heat it if we want to, but why not just leave it on one side and let's go to another step. So just reach over to your cardstock, white cardstock, doesn't matter what thickness, because I'm hoping,
thank you,
let me just reach that you've all prepped. If you haven't prepped, then quickly stamp 3 of these. What I've done is I've stamped 3 of these.
Oh, bless you.
And I've stuck them together. I've stuck the paintbrush together, and there's 3 layers there, so that it's a nice sturdy piece. and I've just adhered it together with PVA glue, so it gives me a nice sturdy piece.
Did you use like a 300 GSM or something?
Yes, I use 300 GSM, but it doesn't matter if you've got 250 GSM, don't stress about it, stamp onto 250 GSM.
Lovely.
So we need to take our paintbrush. You should have a VersaFine Claire, Alex, under somewhere. I've got a
There's
pile.
that one. Yeah, that's great.
What we're going to do is we need to stamp our paintbrush. Now, you may be wondering, are you all right there, Jo?
Yeah, I'm just getting Alex's
it that
paintbrush.
one?
It's just
Hey.
hiding.
There you
You know,
go.
like we
Thank
do.
you. Yeah. So I told you, we need a desk about 100 feet
I
long
know.
so that we can work. Now, we need to stamp another paintbrush, and you may say, well, why are we moving from one step to... It's because I'm letting some things dry. So obviously, if I was at home, each step would be a little bit different. But when you're live on TV, you've got to do it so that you can follow along and your pieces are drying at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our paintbrush, which the lovely Anne Redfern asked me to design, and thankfully she liked it when I designed it, because it's done in sort of my quirky style. And you need to ink your stamp with VersaFine. Now, I use VersaFine, that's just a personal preference because of the detail in the stamp. I think what you have to remember when you're listening to somebody that's demoing, we've all got our own approaches, we've all got our favourite products, we've all got our favourite techniques. If something that I'm doing doesn't work for you and you've got a better way, then you should work with that. All as I'm doing is demoing to you and saying this is what works best for me. That doesn't mean that I'm always right. It just means that this is what flows for me, this is what rocks my boat, and this is how I create, and hopefully, you know, you can gain something from that process. So give your stamp a good inking. Don't be too gentle with it, give it a good patting. Don't be in too much of a rush to not ink your stamp properly. I know some of the stampers out there might have been doing it for 20 years or whatever, but we do need to think about those ladies that have never stamped before.
Yeah.
So give your stamp a really good inking.
It's like you're telling off, but really good inking.
I get paranoid, Alex, that's the thing. Now, in typical Tracy style, I have to stand up. So, I have to stand up because I'm not the kind of person that sits down most of the time and stamps.
Snap.
So, I have to stand up. So, all chairs are going to be pushed out now at home. So, watch us all stand up now. This is what
I'm
you do
going to have a go
professionally.
sitting down just
So-
to see if I can.
What you need to do is, if you've never stamped with a large stamp before, keep this left hand in situ. So place your stamp onto the card, Alex.
You don't mind if I do it sideways?
No, you can do it sideways.
No,
it's
I find it
easier to do
easier
it sideways.
sideways.
Yeah. So literally keep this hand in position and give this a firm press. Now we're using the All and Create acrylic blocks. So because we're using the All and Create acrylic blocks, you can lift the acrylic block so that you get the middle area of your stamp, and you can lift that up like so. You can also lift the bottom area up so that you get it all, and it just means that you get this middle area here using the acrylic blocks. Now, I've done a lot of waffling and no pressing, so just make sure that you've got that nicely pressed.
Okay.
And there's your stamp.
Let's see. Cool.
That's it. And as you can see, none of us have rushed that process with stamping. It's important that you don't rush that process, because that's sometimes when ladies or gentlemen get really upset because they're not getting a perfect image. 9 times out of 10 it's because of ink pad, it's not wet enough, or you've been too quick to pull the image away. So that gives you a perfect image. We put that on one side. If you can just take a scrap of paper and just give it a blot, because you're using
Thank you.
a VersaFine ink pad that's got a really long open time, which all that means is it stays wetter longer. So just give that a wipe over, just to remove any of the black residue. And then just put that on one side, and then we'll get to another technique. So if you can all now reach for your gel plates.
Yours is there. I just need to take that cover off it.
Bless you. They've prepped everything for me, these ladies.
See, we didn't want you all stressed, you see, Alex. I can just take all the stress, not.
Oh, bless you.
So what I've done
They're
here
just air
is...
bubbles
Oh, are
underneath.
they? Okay.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've added the gel press to an All and Create acrylic block. The reason I've done that is for me personally, it makes the gel press easier to handle. I'm not messing with the plastic all the time. It just makes it easier for me to handle. And just while we're giving ladies a few minutes to find their gel presses, put it on an acrylic block, I just thought I'd mention that tomorrow, following the Craftalong, we thought it'd be a nice, both myself and Abs thought it'd be a nice idea to keep things flowing, because sometimes in January we're feeling a bit low and we don't really want to craft, or we've got, you know, low motivation. We thought we'd have a bit of a challenge on the All and Create Fanatics page, and we'll send the details on. We'll put the details onto the All and Create Fanatics page tomorrow, and there'll be some giveaways as well. So, you know, you can use whatever stamps you want that are All and Create, and perhaps we can all get together and get creative together. So we'll talk about that challenge hopefully tomorrow on the page.
What were we doing? Samples. Just, are we doing samples? Just a few samples, just while you're getting your gel press as well. So obviously the Craftalong bundle that we've got on the show, here it is. Because you can still get it if you want to, here it is. Because you can, if you want, watch on Rewind. I think that it's available up for about a month or so. But obviously if you're Craftalong right now, that's fantastic. So it is available on screen for you. There you go. Right, now, so we just thought, again, just to give you, because we don't want anybody to get left behind, a little bit of time, just have a look at a few more of these fabulous samples. Oh, this is nice. Good, we've got some names on the back here. So this one is by Anne Redfern. How cool is that? I'd have to say as well, I really like the background, sort of a little bit crackled as well. And there is actually a tea bag in there, which is awesome. It's so cute. Oh, I think we've got a theme going on here. Yes, look at those. Isn't that beautiful? This one, yes, again, this one's by Anne. Oh, that's nice and vibrant. Ooh, that's almost it, but you know where my mind goes. It's almost a little bit gothic. And then we've got this one. Have a look. This is by Jo. Lovely Jo, there it is. I love that. Look, how cool. There's a rusted safety pin on there. Look, I love all these little extra elements. Awesome. Look at that. Beautiful. And then, oh, one more. We've also got this beautiful bag. Because, you know, you can use it on your fabrics. Of course you can. Stunning. Right then, hopefully you've all got your gel presses. Here's the website, just while I smoosh over to smoosh back to the demo area. There we go. So lots of lovely beautiful stamps, of course, by All and Create. Obviously you can shop by brand as well, so you can go onto the website, just go to the letter A and you'll find it. Lovely jubbly. Okay, back to you then.
Thank you. Can I just say a couple of things? Just a thank you to the design team, Jo, Corrie. I won't forget to show you samples, Corrie, of all your beautiful colouring in. Debbie and Anne and Janet. Oh, I was trying to remember everybody then. So thank you very much for your samples and taking the time. So we've got our gel press. Now, just a little bit of information about gel presses. So I've had quite a few questions. When you first get a gel press is a little bit like me. They get better with age. Well, I'm hoping. Yeah, we can hope. The idea is they get better with age. They get better the more you use them. So I did one sample for you of what happens if I place this down here, then the camera can see. If you come in close, can you see this? They love me at this camera. They're like, she's a bit bossy. Can you see this bubbling here? Yep, you can see the bubbling. That's perfect.
Just coming up. There you go.
So when you first get a gel press, now obviously some inks will do this. If they're water-based, they'll do that. But with the VersaFine Clairs, the more you use your gel press, the less it does this.
Right.
It will. This is my old gel press.
There's a difference.
Let's move it in, so you can see. This is my old gel press. This is my new gel press, which is underneath me on the table. The inks will take like that the more you use the gel press, and the less cleaner you are with the gel press. Don't be in too much of a rush to clean it all the time. That's not necessarily a good thing. I know some of you have got OCD, but trust me, the more you use it and the messier it gets, the better it takes the paint and the ink.
Interesting. It almost seasons it, doesn't it? A little bit like your stamps.
Yes. Now that again is only my opinion and from my experience. There may be people out there that will say because it's the residue, because of this, that and the other. I'm just giving you my knowledge of my experience and what I've gained from using a new gel press. Now, obviously, I wanted to use my VersaFine Clair inks on my gel press. And when I had a go, that was the first thing that happened. It beaded up. So I thought, well, I'm not going to be beaten just because it's beaded up. I know one of my friends, Sue, she puts copier paper the top and bottom and leaves the gel press sandwiched in between the copier paper overnight to get rid of some of that manufacturing process. What I found is just the more you use it, the better it gets. Now, I wanted to use these VersaFine Clairs, and I was determined I wanted to use these colours. So to get over that problem, there's always a way round something. So we add a light layer of white paint to the gel press. So I'm hoping you've got a scrap of, have you got a scrap of card, ladies, that you can work on?
Yes, over
That
there.
you can brayer off. So you just need a scrap of card to brayer off your excess paint onto your card. So if you can just quickly tear a piece of card. Okay, you've got your brayer there, Alex, which is lovely and stained because you can tell that's well used. So what you're going to do, let's just shake the paint, make sure that it's flowing. You're going to add a small amount of paint to your gel press.
Thank you.
Can you see, I've not added a big blob, but if you had a big blob, don't panic. It's not a problem.
You all right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So add a small blob. Just hold your acrylic block just so you're not moving your gel press all over the place. And lightly brayer your paint over. Now, if you've got a new gel press, can you feel the stickiness, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite, that's what you're trying to get rid of the more you use your so that's it, Alex. Sort of lift your brayer up and move it across. Wipe away your excess paint onto your white card.
Right.
Because you only want a light layer of paint.
Okay.
So I might need a little bit more. Yeah, keep brayering it off, Alex, just to keep brayering that paint off.
Right. Oops.
Keep taking off the excess. Joe, yours is
light,
perfect. That's perfect, Joe.
Nice. Okay, I know where I'm
I
headed.
did have a dog hair on there as well, I'm afraid, but it's gone. We're okay.
That's texture.
That is.
That's texture. So
Indeed.
that's
Oh,
it. You've
that's
got
going to make a brilliant background.
yeah. So keep,
Cool. Keep going a bit more?
Yeah. If Joe can give you another piece of card just to get rid of a bit of
Oh,
your
I
paint.
could just
Yeah,
turn it
on the
on.
back.
You can add it on there
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, and then
Okay.
that's sharing. You can give me a bit
I
of
like that.
texture.
So brayer off the excess paint off your gel press. And if you look at my gel press, it's nice and light. It's not got too much paint on. So that's it. That's perfect,
lighter,
Alex.
yeah.
Oh, lighter.
That's it. Lifting it. You're perfect now. You don't need to lift anymore.
Cool.
So what we need to do now is called waffle. We need to waffle while that paint dries just a little bit. Now, if you've used a paint that's sort of thicker in consistency, richer in consistency, then it will need longer to dry. That's why you're only adding a very, very light layer of the paint. And you're adding that light layer of paint for two reasons. One, it'll add vibrancy to your inks. Two, it stops that bubbling effect if there's a certain product you want to use immediately and your gel press has not been used enough. So it's sort of a way of priming it, if you like, and just means that I can do the technique that I want to do. Cool. So obviously, don't go and do anything silly, like use your heat tool or anything. No, 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 because this is just like jelly. So you just need that to dry. So to test it's dry, just touch your... yours should be quite dry. How's yours, Joe?
Slightly tacky, but only slightly.
Only slightly.
Mine's slightly tacky. That's interesting because I've got some little, I don't know, circles that have
You
appeared.
see, if you look at them circles there, here and here and here, is the camera, yes, the camera's just coming in. Can you see these dots here? All this is because your gel plate has never been used, because yours, I've literally bought it for you, Alex, and it's brand new. It literally hasn't been touched. So because yours hasn't been touched, you're getting more of a, you know, that's
just interesting.
Yeah, paint is a little clumping or bubbling. That's just natural. Like you get a new stamp, it's just a natural thing.
Okay.
But the more you use it and the more you pummel it and give it some good use, the better it will take your inks.
Okay.
Okay. So what we need to do now is just, mine seems reasonably dry. It's a bit tacky, but it seems okay.
Yeah.
Does yours seem okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
So hopefully yours at home seems okay, and you don't need me to waffle a bit more, just so that it dries. So it's not too much of a worry. Let me see if I've got a piece of... Can I just take this, Alex?
Of course you can. 1 second. Here you go.
Sorry.
That's all right.
We have to share space. I'm not used to sharing space. Let me just show you. I've tried to think about every question that I might get. This is what happens if you add too much paint. Can you see on the overhead there? It still looks beautiful. I love the background and I will use that background for something. But that's when I add too much white paint in the first layer. Can you see that it diminishes some of that colour? Because whatever you put down first on the gel press is your top layer.
Right.
That's what shows first. And the colours are underneath. but that is adding too much paint.
Okay.
But I would still use that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a perfectly good background, so don't ever think you've made mistakes. So what we're going to do now is take our VersaFine Clairs. Now,
Oh, thank you.
if you don't have the VersaFine Clairs, then please use your Distress Oxides, no problem at all. Now, we have to think about those ladies that haven't got a gel press. If you haven't got a gel press, then hopefully you've cut out a circle as I requested. Cut out a circle, 6 inches, which is what my gel press is, 6 inches. And you just blend your Distress Oxides, 2 colours or 3 colours, over your circle for those ladies that don't have a gel press. So while I'm doing this process, the ladies that don't have a gel press, you just blend some colour over your circle and do it that way.
And just so you know, Tracy, just to give you a time check, we've got 10 minutes left of this hour.
Brilliant.
Right.
Hasn't that gone quick?
I know.
Crikey.
You said
Told you it would,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't realise I could talk so much.
It's all good.
So you're now working with the VersaFine Clairs. Now you may say to me, well, why have you used those, Tracy, if you're saying that I can use the oxides? Because you get a slightly different look. Because these are slightly richer on the gel press than the oxides are.
Got you.
It's no better background, it just means I get a different look. That's all it means. I wanted this look, you know, I created the project for Hochanda, and this is the way my inspiration flowed. You know, obviously if you've got oxides, you'll get just as good a background. But these obviously you could then use for stamping, so they've got lots more uses as well, not just for what I'm doing. So we're now going to apply the
You've got one there.
Thanks.
VersaFine Clair over your gel press. Just a nice patting motion. And you don't have to worry about these drying too quickly because of the nature of the ink. As I mentioned before, it's got a good open time. So can you see, Alex?
Full coverage?
Full coverage.
Okay.
Full coverage.
Oh, I do like this colour.
It's a lovely colour, isn't
Yeah.
it? I love
Isn't
it.
it? Very
So-
fresh.
But if you can hear that stickiness,
Yeah.
that's just your newness of your gel plate.
Ah.
So apply that ink all over your gel press. So you've got a nice, good, even coverage.
Oh, Meg, what did you say somebody's written in about? Sharon has written on Facebook. She's loving the show. Hello, Sharon.
Oh, hi, Sharon.
She said, oops, my white became pink because she must have left some pink on her
Oops.
brayer.
It doesn't matter. It's only a base layer.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. It's not a problem. So what I'm going to do now is add the next layer, which is Warm Breeze. So it's the lighter colour. Have you got the same one? Have you got
This
Warm
one?
Breeze? Oh, yours. It's because I've got green on mine. Look.
Over the lids.
Yeah, no, you're
No,
fine.
you've got
this
the right
is the
one.
right
Yeah.
one. Okay.
It's like how we question each other.
Yeah.
So on this one, you're adding a gentle layer. You're not covering the whole area. Can you see? Like
Yeah.
so.
Is it just random?
Random, Joe. Don't think about it. Don't panic about it. Don't think about it too much because it's all going to be blended together. Maybe a little bit more, Alex.
I like
and on this
random.
occasion, it doesn't matter about square lines because I can see all the viewers now. The mind's working overtime and saying, "Oh, what about these square lines?"
You told us not to have
That
them
doesn't
last
matter.
time.
Yeah, there's always a contradiction.
If you
So-
get the lighter green on your
It
ink
doesn't
pad,
matter. No, that will clean up, no problem at all.
Cool.
Then take your darkest colour, which is Blue Bell, or your darkest colour of oxide, and just place that round the edges a little bit. You will hardly notice this, to be honest, by the time you've braided. So just some light layers round the edges. You can lift your acrylic block up if you like to make it easier to, to reach. So if you want to lift it up and apply it like so.
I just find it
But I
easier
just
to...
work, it's whatever works best for you. So what you're going to take then, hope you're keeping up, Leslie. Hope you haven't given up.
I think she did actually message in
Did
as
she
well.
message in?
think
Yes,
so.
I hope you're keeping up, Leslie.
Bless her.
So what we're going to do now is you're going to make sure that you've got none of that white paint on your braid. Just check your braid dry. Use your hand and check it's dry. Alex is worried about getting her hands messy, can you tell? So as long as your braid is nice and dry, bray it over them inks.
Right.
Now, nice firm pressure, ladies. Nice firm pressure. Can you see me, Alex? I'm really lifting and moving, lifting and moving.
It's good for your back wings, isn't
Yeah,
it?
those wings, yes. And then brayer off your excess ink onto your card.
Right.
Tell you I need a bigger desk.
I know.
So while we're just waiting for Alex and Joe, you just need to get your Totally Dotty stencil ready. If you've got that stencil or you're using another All in Create stencil, whichever stencil rocks your boat, you use that one. So if you turn it round, Alex, you might want the bigger holes that way.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? So we're going to place that down onto the gel plate. Now, I want you to press it down. Don't put your fingers in the holes, just on the negative space. So just make sure it makes good contact. So press it down, that's it. Make sure it's nicely firmly pressed. Now, a lot of the queens of gel plate would then take a print of this and you'd end up with the green circles. I don't want to do that because I don't want to waste those lovely green, blue, turquoisey circles. So what you're going to do then is you're going to grab, if you've got one or whatever you've got, your little mesh background stamp.
Don't worry, you can share mine.
Okay, you go first.
So take your mesh background stamp, or whichever background stamp. I mean, the all measured up ruler stamp would work well. So anything like that that you've got in your stash, I'll just give you a couple of moments to reach over or fall over your chair, whichever you're doing, to grab that quickly. I just know what I'm like in my craft room. I end up stumbling over everything. So just reach for those stamps. We're going to use a background stamp, and what you're going to do is you're going to stamp the mesh stamp into the circles, okay? And then if you want, it's just stamp off some of the ink, because you'll end up with another background. I will pass you mine, Alex, afterwards.
Because we're coming up, just so you know, we are actually going to have a little break. It's like the usual 3-minute break, so also then you can catch up at home as well.
So I just need to get you to do that just so I can show if that's fine.
You go for it.
Am I all right carrying on, ladies, just so before we go to the break so they know exactly what we're doing?
Yeah.
So you've now got that stamped area. Lift your stencil. That's it, Alex. Just keep pressing it in your circles.
Press it on there.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Oh, good point. I forget.
Oh, look, you see.
Yeah,
It's
that's
lovely.
cool. Nice.
Okay. So I'm hoping that you've now got this, and I'm just going to hurry it up a bit so we've just got to before we go to the next hour. So lift your gel press up, piece of white card, which you ladies should have. Joe's got it at the top right there, square pieces of card. That's plenty, Alex. You'll have plenty there.
Okay.
Lift your stencil up. Lift your stencil up.
Off.
Yep.
Okay.
And then place your gel press
Thank you.
down onto your card.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, so place your gel press down onto your card.
Okay.
Give a nice firm press as if you were pressing a stamp. Okay? Just make sure it's got that suction on there. Lift your card up, like
See
so.
how it's looking.
Nice.
Lift your card up, turn it over,
Rub its
and
bottom.
rub its bottom. Trust Joe just to lower the tone. You had to realise.
You've always got to rub its bottom.
So just give it a good firm rub. And this is a perfect time to have a break, you see, when I reveal this. So when you've given it a good firm rub, can you see what a beautiful print you get?
Cool.
Just look at the mesh in the background. Oh, I love that. Is it a bit weird to love your own background?
No. Oh, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Can you see? Now, if you look at this, Alex, here, which I love anyway, you've got a bit more bubbling because you've got a new gel press.
Yeah.
And we only put a light layer of paint. But look at this. Look at this here.
It's really awesome.
Stunning.
Here we go.
Absolutely stunning.
I'm just holding it there. There we go. Look, I'm really happy with that. Joe, may I take yours
You
to
may.
show? As you can see that they're all...
And look how they're all different.
Ah, that is fantastic.
Brilliant, aren't they?
Lovely, thank you. So, brilliant time to pause.
Yep.
Have a look at the website again for All and Create. Now, the texture stamps that Tracy and Joe and myself have been using, they are also available on the website. Oh, thank you, Joe. So, this is it on screen. It's £26.97 if you're thinking, oh, I'd like some of that. Haven't got that. And your item number is 587458. There you go. So, right, a few last finished samples we can show you. This is also a really nice time for you to go and get yourself a nice cup of tea for the second hour that we've got of our craft along. I just want to say as well, thank you to everybody who's been joining us. I know I've been so engrossed. I've been trying to have a little look to see, but it sounds like you're all having a lovely time. It's really nice. So hello to Sarah, John, Sylvia. We've got Joe on there, Jane. I'm sure Dave and Brig are on there. So it's lovely of you, and I hope you're having a really marvellous time. You can still get your craft along if you want to watch on Rewind. As I said, I think it's going to be available on the website for about a month. But we've just got, again, just some nice finished samples to show you. I don't think we've shown you this one. This is really pretty. I mean, look at the background in this. It's awesome, isn't it? Look at those fabulous colours. You've got the little flower on there. Oh, it's got a magnetic clasp. Oh, hang on. Oh, let's see what's in there. Very nice. Look at that. I'm not sure who did it. Oh, it's Anne. Anne did this. How cool is that? There's another one in there. I will make sure I pop it back. 1 second. There you go. Look at that. That's such a gorgeous sample, isn't it? Really liking that. And then, of course, as you can see, we've got this lovely paint palette. We've got this is the box, and so yeah, you can make these into fantastic gifts as well. Right, please do stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Don't want you to miss the second hour. So, yep, grab yourself a quick cup of tea. Maybe you're just catching up, and we will see you right after this short break.
Hi, my name's Leona. I've been into crafting for many years now. As a little girl, I'd craft with mum and dad, but then obviously it stuck with me that much that it became my career. I think for me, crafting's so fun because there's always something new to learn. There's always something new to play with, and it's such a rewarding hobby as well. That's why I absolutely love it and recommend it to so many people. I'm really thrilled to be part of the Hochanda family. Really excited about seeing how it's grown, seeing how it's developed so far, and all the brand new things that I know we've got coming up. I'm really passionate about getting back into demonstrating on TV as well, and actually sharing techniques with you, products with you that I personally love. I hope you can tune into my shows here live at Hochanda.
Hello, my name's Kay from Indigo Blue, and we've been established for 7 years, and together with my husband Alfie we design and manufacture our own in-house red rubber stamps. We also have our own range of paints, lushes and stencils. We're so proud that we've now got a reputation for such high quality products and the detail that we can manage to get in our stamps. So grab a cup of tea, join me and the team from Indigo Blue on Hochanda.
Hi, this is Els from Elizabeth Craft Designs. Elizabeth Craft Designs is a Colorado-based company. It's a family company, so husband, son, daughter all work in the company, and then a fantastic team of designers, because a company cannot exist without a great team around yourself. What we would like to share with you is my passion for crafts. We love all the concepts we have, so we have from cute till classic and beautiful designs. We love our journaling planner line, and we're going to bring you our ideas, our passion, and we hope to transfer that passion to you. So please join Elizabeth Craft Designs here at Hochanda.
Hello, welcome back. So hopefully you're all caught up. You've managed to get yourself a nice brew and a biscuit, obligatory. Now, I must show these samples. They're by Corrie. They were hiding, so I want you to see, because she spent so long doing this beautiful colouring. Look at the way it's been coloured. It's absolutely divine. I love the light and shade in this, and that looks so real. It literally does look like metal. It's beautiful. And again, I'm loving the colours that you've used, Corrie. Once we've got that light and shade, so you really get the dimension to this. And then if I move along, see, this is nice. I love that you've grounded it as well. I think that's really important, really nice. Oh, that's nice, real splash of colour, and just that edge there again gives it that wonderful light and shade. So Corrie, these are absolutely favourite. Love the ants, favourite. Nature, make today memorable. And you've got these lovely marching ants. That is brilliant. Right, so thank you very much, Corrie. Thank you for all your samples as well. And now this is where we're headed. There we go. This is the the lovely finished article, like so. And this is my background here, where it's just got up to, and you'll see, you know, no two backgrounds are exactly the same. I love that though. I'm really happy with that. I'm loving all the texture. Of course, it's all the, you know, the different bubbles that you get on that. It's fabulous. So I am going to remember to take this now back with me. Here's the website. Here we go. Just so that I can shufty over. But you also might want to now get some extra stamps if you're thinking, oh yeah, actually I could do with some more All and Create stamps. So you can have a little look, and you can also shop by brand as well. I've still got the tablet, so if you do want to ask any more questions, please do. Any more photos, let us know how you're getting on as well. But what I did say to Tracy to let her know that you're all saying that it's a really great pace, so you're able to keep up, which is wonderful.
Oh, thanks very much.
Cool.
Thank you, and thanks for all messaging in.
Yeah.
Just taking a look at the project again, and just thinking about obviously your other images that you might have or might be getting. I've used a paintbrush here. But also, I know there's a couple of ladies at home who are using different stamps. They're using some of my flower stamps. You could have a beautiful floral here where the paintbrush is, and maybe some smaller florals here. So you can always adapt the actual theme or the style with some florals or even some masculine images, whichever you prefer. So you don't have to be restricted just to the paintbrush and the cup. Obviously, if you're using flowers, it'll work just as well.
I've got a question for you, Tracy. Yeah. This is from Linda. She said, for the acetate, can oxide sprays be used because she doesn't have the actual pads? And,
absolutely. And
if so, do they need to be spritzed? She says she's enjoying watching.
Okay, so if she uses, sorry, the name was?
Linda.
Hi, Linda, hi. So if you're using the oxide sprays, when you spritz them onto the acetate, you can use them as they are, but then you will end up with a more concentrated colour. If you spritz it with water, you'll get more of that oxidisation or cloudiness. So you'll get more of that if you apply it to the acetate and then spritz with water. But you can do exactly the same. You get the same effect with your acetate and blending, no problem at all with the oxides. And you can paint with the oxides, so if you was using a flower, you could paint with them as well. So no problem at all.
Good stuff. Thank you. Keep the questions coming in. We're on Facebook Live.
So what we're going to do now is we're all going to cut out.
Right.
Obviously, there's nothing you can do when you're doing a craft along. There is some cutting out. I know that Fee will be watching. It is Fee, isn't it, Jo?
Yeah, Fiona.
And Fiona is one lady who doesn't like cutting out. So I do apologise, Fiona. There's a little bit of cutting out.
There are a few, I'm afraid. Barbara Finch is another one. She doesn't like cutting out.
This is easy cutting out. You're just cutting out your circle.
Right to the edge.
Right to the edge. It doesn't matter if you miss a bit. You're just cutting out what looks like a circular shape, because we're all going circular themed here.
This is where I stick my tongue out.
I was going to stick my tongue down. I thought, no, Tracy, concentrate.
So easily done, isn't it?
Yeah, but that means you're enjoying it. If you're sticking your tongue out, my excuse is I'm really enjoying what I'm doing.
It's good.
But I have to concentrate on live TV to show that I have got some etiquette somewhere. But only now and then. If I was on a Facebook Live, my tongue would be out completely. So while we're just cutting out, what I'd just like to point out, can you see here, sorry I'm having the camera all over the place, can you see these white areas here? That's it, that's absolutely perfect. Those white areas there, that even adds to the design as well. That's just where you sort of miss some of it and you get some of this white open area. That adds brightness and vibrancy to your design, and that's why you use the white paint as well. So while we've just cut the circle out, we'll just let Alex catch up a little bit.
I'm so slow at cutting out.
No, but so will other ladies, Alex. Other ladies will be slow at cutting out, and gentlemen will be slow at cutting out.
Right.
So what you also need to cut out, so let's get the boring bits out that Fee and several other people don't like. You need to cut your paintbrush out. Again, nice and easy to cut out.
Just the actual
paintbrush, not your background, your actual paintbrush.
Okay.
Can you see, I'm just quickly going round. I'm so used to cutting. Actually, I find cutting out really therapeutic. I just love it. Now, if I'd have prepped all this, then you'd have been trying to catch up. If I'd have said, "Oh, I've got one prepped," that doesn't really work. And where the brushes are, we're going to snip into them bristles. So don't worry too much. Just cut it out, sort of the area. Doesn't matter if you square it off because you're going to cut into that. I thought you'd cut it all then, Alex.
No,
wow, that was quick.
No.
So yes, so I'm hoping that you can all keep up. And if you want to share your pictures,
yes, please,
on the All and Create Fanatics page and with us on the Facebook Live, that'd be fantastic. I love seeing how you take the interpretation and how you use the images. It's wonderful to see. In fact, that's the best bit. So I've now got my paintbrush. Don't worry, I'll give you time to all catch up with your paintbrush.
Did you go? Oh, yeah, okay,
so you
cool.
can just cut straight across, Alex, or you can have a little point like I have done here.
Yeah.
So whichever you want to.
Okay. Okay,
Just pause. So I'll just pause for Joe, because what you're going to do then, just so we're not going too far and too quickly, is you're going to adhere this paintbrush to your other paintbrushes. Okay? So you end up with 4 paintbrushes stuck together. Okay? And I didn't get you to do that first because I wanted to go through the stamping process as well.
Yeah.
I think it's important if you've got beginners not to skip the stamping process. So you need to now adhere that together.
Thank you.
Okay?
There we go.
Now just using a PVA to adhere that. Whatever glue is your preferred, just make sure you've got good adhesion and that you adhere that together. And just hold it in place so you've got good adhesion.
Yeah.
And it makes good contact. So these are obviously nice simple steps, but we've got to do them as part of the process.
Yeah. All good.
Just make sure that's all firmly, and I love that paintbrush. Just love
so
the detail.
cool.
It's so strange when you design a stamp and you see everybody else using the stamps. It really does give you a buzz.
Oh, that's
it's
nice.
lovely.
I still think these look like eyes.
Do they look like eyes?
really?
Yeah.
Yes, you could do a face.
And a
couldn't you?
hair.
Yeah, you could do a face.
Well, they were saying in my ear about, do you remember those certain troll dolls?
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. I
or
said about
somebody
need
said.
to do it over a wall.
Yeah.
So his little face is pointing out over the top of a wall.
Not that we're losing the plot at all.
No, I love
His
it.
imagination.
Yeah.
Might be losing the plot in your case, Joe. So what
That
we're going to
happened a long
do
time ago.
what we're going to do now is make the brush look more realistic. So you're going to snip in to the petals, just like you're giving a haircut. So if you've got some of those hairdressers, I think Emma Blake's a hairdresser.
Yep.
Yes.
She did mention that she was good with colour because of being a hairdresser.
Yeah, so she'd be quite good at this, snipping into it. Once she just snipping in, can you see Alex there?
I just wondered how fine.
You can
Okay,
go
quite fine.
Quite fine.
I like fine.
You can go as far down as you possibly want, or you can just do the top ones. And I'll show you why we're snipping into it. Just so you're giving your paintbrush some life, to be honest. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is this like when you were little and you used to cut yourself a fringe?
My daughter did that when she was little. She cut all the fringe off.
Oh.
And then when I went to the hairdresser, she said, "No, I haven't cut it. It must have happened itself because she was only about 3."
That's
but
adorable.
she did cut all the hair off.
Well, I thought my hair was like one of those dolls that I won't mention the name, where it used to grow again.
Yeah, no.
No, it didn't.
The things we've done.
Ian would be, my husband would be quite happy if his hair grew again. My husband's quite bald. He won't be very happy if he's
Let's
saying
hope
that.
he's not watching.
He probably is watching in the green room. So can you see here, I've done mine at different lengths and then bent my brush just so that it looks more realistic. And then I might decide to cut a bit further down on that one or a bit further down on that one. Just bend it so it just gives your paintbrush a little bit of life. Can you see, Alex? You're just bending it back just to give it a little bit of life.
Oh,
You
I
want
like
some bristles, you know, further up, longer, going further down, just so it looks more like a brush. Because at the end of the day, no brush, well, my paintbrushes are all stuck in glue. I'm terrible for paintbrushes.
Or
do you
into
ever
your
do
tea.
that? Into my tea all the time. But more often than not, I use glue.
Yeah.
Then I'll go and do something else.
Yeah.
And then I end up with a rock hard paintbrush. And I've just bought myself some expensive paintbrushes and I can't do that.
Right.
I can't do that. I don't know why, because I don't paint with them. I just do messy techniques.
Do you want to see a couple of pictures, by the way, ladies?
Oh, yes, please.
So Leslie and Mackenzie are crafting along.
Yay, look at them backgrounds.
They are
fantastic.
Cool, really nice. Oh, look, there's your craft room.
Wow, look at that craft room. You've got more space than me.
I know. Oh, it's nice because you've got are you watching as well? Like there in your craft room. That's cool.
Oh, I've got craft room envy.
Fabulous. Thank you for sending your pictures
thank
in.
you.
We like that.
Actually, it makes it sort of calms my nerves because people are joining in.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like it's sort of a family thing.
Very much
Yeah,
so,
it
I
really
agree.
does. And it feels like you're doing a workshop rather than, it's lovely.
Good.
So, how are we doing with the paintbrushes, ladies? Yeah,
Good.
we've got our paintbrushes.
Paintbrush.
Yes, okay. So now we need to add some colour to that paintbrush, okay? So guess what we're going to do? No, we don't need acetate. We're going to apply the inks to our non-stick craft sheet.
Right.
Or you can apply them to your acetate if you haven't got a non-stick craft sheet or a glass mat. So you're going to apply your twisted citron to your non-stick craft sheet. And I bet you're all bored of me saying it now. Don't press down, smoosh. smoosh so that you don't get any harsh lines. So you smoosh a bit of twisted citron and smoosh, I love that word, a bit of evergreen bow. So as you can see, I've got 2 colours. There you go. Alex, you've got that one.
Thank you.
So you've got 2 colours on your craft sheet.
May I borrow your twisted citron? This one's a little bit. Yeah, thank you.
And then just spritz that with water. So you're creating beads of ink. Okay, we'll just let you catch up, Alex, just so that everybody else is the same.
Was it this one?
Yes, it is. Evergreen bow. That's it. Smoosh. Smoosh. That's it.
You're all going to be
plenty.
saying this word in your sleep. Cool.
And then you just need to spritz that with water, Alex, so that you've got some nice beads of ink.
That much?
That's it. Just so you've got those lovely beads.
Nice.
And what you're going to do is you're going to press your paintbrush randomly into your ink colours.
All over?
All over, okay? Like so. Just keep dabbing, and you want it to be more random.
Nice.
The bristles as well?
The bristles as well if you can.
Yes, I'm liking this.
So it just adds a bit of colour, but in a random way. You're not, you know, obviously, if you're not like Corrie, who colours absolutely stunningly, and that's not your thing, for me, I like colouring this way. I like doing it in a random way. But that's what makes us all different. So we're just going to add that colour. And if you can see my paintbrush here, I've got these nice dotty areas. So that just adds a bit of colour. But don't worry about, you see, that's brilliant.
I'm happy with this,
that's Alex. You've got a bit more ink on yours, so I need a bit more on mine, I think.
Oh, that yours as well, really rich.
White bits.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I need a bit more on mine, because I'm doing the I'm a delicate lady bit. So that's much better.
Cool.
So then what you could do is you could have you got a spare piece of card, ladies? No, let's pass you one. Just say no if you haven't got one.
We have.
There we go. Just
Okay.
spritz your ink that you've got left over on your mat.
Yep.
And just mop up the ink so that you've got another background to create a card with later.
Could I use this one?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. That's what they're there for. You're creating backgrounds and then you can stamp on them, or you can die cut with them.
Yeah.
So just mop up that background. So I've got 2 backgrounds I can use there. Don't let's waste that ink.
Now, can we also see yours, Jo? May I?
Do you want to see my paintbrush?
Yeah, paintbrush, and then your background as well will be fabulous. Just to say again, so you can see that all.
So can you see that
different-
richness in colour that Jo's got on the bottom of her
Liking that.
paintbrush? So you get a nice depth of colour there. And look at that free background. That's a free background that we've got on Jo's card.
I shall be taking that home and stamping on that later.
Definitely. Thank you, Jo.
So there's your, and I'm thinking I'm just going to have a little bit more. This is what I do when I'm at home. I think, oh no, I just need a bit more colour. I just need a bit more.
Cool.
That's better.
Cool. I'm quite happy with mine, I think.
That's it. If you're quite happy, that's no problem.
You know, Corrie, she's joined in on Facebook.
Oh,
Live.
brilliant. Hi, Corrie.
Oh, bless you. She's saying hello. She's saying beautiful project, and it looks like you're having fun. She said she's just watching, not crafting at the moment.
Oh, it's lovely to have you watching, Corrie.
Yeah, bless you. And yeah, we love your samples.
Yes, we do. Yeah, I always love Corrie's colouring. Absolutely wonderful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our circle back. Do you remember the circle we did? Just give it a little bit of a bend, like so. Now, what you do when you're at home, I would place that onto a flat surface, because when your embroidery hoop, do you like how I can't see my embroidery hoop? Let me just get there. Your embroidery hoop, when you adhere it will go flat, because you'll hold that into place while the glue takes, and it'll be flat. So don't worry too much, okay? So that's why you've used 2 pieces of card stuck together, because it'll take a bit of battering, so then you don't have to worry. Okay? So when I was prepping this project at home, I spent some time thinking, right, where am I going to place this? So while you're at home now, you need to take your paintbrush and your circle, and just in your head, I mean, you could even use the acetate from your stamp set. Use the acetate from your stamp set, and you can line that up. Have we got a stamp set with the acetate? I don't think I have here. I've taken all my acetate
Here we
off.
go.
That's brilliant, Jo, thank you.
Okay.
So what you could do, what I do at home is, I sometimes use the acetate and decide where I want to place my stamp. Sometimes it's easier to look at, just trying to decide whereabouts I want it. You might want yours in a different place to mine, but mine is going there, okay? Now, as you can see, this is the way I'm thinking it's going to look. Now, I need to add a bit more oomph to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to adhere our layers and then add more depth to our design, just to bring it all together. So you're going to take your circle, and you're going to and make your mind up now. You're going to be determined and make your mind up and put it where you want it. So you go, I'm just using a PVA glue, so you just need to adhere that to your background piece.
Sorry, I'm fasting.
Alex is now trying to decide where to put it. And it's okay because Tracy's good at waffling, so it's not a problem. So I'm just going to have mine like so, I think. So I hope you're all talking to yourself while you're doing it.
That, okay, great, right, okay, that.
So I'm going to talk to myself. And if you're using a PVA that doesn't stick straight away, you've got a bit of manoeuvrability. There's plenty of glues there for you, Alex.
Cool, thank you. We've had a question.
Yes.
From, did you say Belinda? Lovely. From Texas.
Oh, from
Hello.
Texas.
Belinda.
Yes.
Hi,
Belinda.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Belinda. Hello.
She's saying, why do you use little nail scissors when you're trimming out items instead of regular? I don't know about this. So,
so these scissors and these scissors.
Yeah.
So if I place them down, because the camera people upstairs are going to go mad at me if I keep moving them. So I've got two lots of scissors. These scissors I tend to use if I'm cutting out a big piece. These scissors are Pergamano scissors, and the reason I use them personally, can you see that they've got a curve? It means I can get into fine details. That's just a personal choice. I know some ladies, when they come to see me demo, they go, how do you cut with them? I can't live without them. But that's just a personal choice. That is the only reason I use them, because it's my preference. That's it.
Right.
I do the same. I have small embroidery scissors. And exactly
like
the
that.
same reason.
But what you need to do now is, wherever you've adhered your circle, take a piece of kitchen roll and just give it a good rub over, just to make sure that you've got good adhesion. Just make sure that it's got a good adhesion.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so that you know that it's stuck down nicely, okay?
There we go.
So I'm just looking at that now. I just have to take a quick look at my project to see what I'm going to do next. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to add a red layer, and I mean a light layer of paint. So if you can just bear with me a couple of seconds before you race ahead and do this, just because you need to be careful with this.
Right.
And I can see some ladies going, oh no. So I'm using a red paint, so any red paint that you've got, whichever your preference is, and can you see that I'm putting the tiniest dot of red paint on my acrylic sheet? Nothing more than that. You're then going to take your brayer and you're going to brayer out that paint. Now before you do it, Alex, can you see that I've brayed it out a lot, so there's hardly any paint on there.
Right.
I've brayed it out, and then I go over very, can you see I'm hardly putting the
very gently
the brayer down, because you're aiming for light layers. Can you see? Oh yes, that's perfect camera work, perfect. So you can see that you've got very light layers of the red paint.
Right.
You're not going too much. So if you think you've got too much, brayer it off, because you can keep going back. And what you're going to do is you're going to decide where you want them red layers.
Okay.
So I'm aiming for a little bit here and maybe a little bit there. You only want little subtle touches. So Jo, I know that you're the ink queen and painting, you know, is not one of your things, is your forte. When I'm brayering, move your brayer along
the mat.
Along the mat, rather than then it's not in one area.
So a light covering.
That's it, perfect, Jo. And then the lightest touch
touch
you've ever used.
Is that?
Yeah, you may think none's coming on, but keep rolling it, and if it doesn't, just pick a bit more paint up. That's it. Just see if any will come off, Alex. If not, then add a bit more paint. It's better to go very delicate. You're not rushing this phase. So can you see? I'm just going to go along. Can you see there's any coming off?
No.
So you need to add a little bit more paint.
Okay.
It's just, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm the same, too light.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's better to be too light than too heavy-handed, because then, and can you see, when I've got a light layer, if you watch, Alex, I keep going over the same area.
Right.
So even if I've got a small amount of paint on, we can see here, I've got these tiny touches of red paint.
Yeah.
They're just very delicate touches. The reason you're adding this red paint is, so if we just help Alex.
Yeah, I'm not getting any.
Yeah, so what's happening is, so if you don't mind me sharing
you go for it.
Because this is what sharing's about. So when I brayer, I lift the brayer. So I've got a fair, a reasonable amount of paint, but I've brayed it all across.
Right.
And then where would you like the red paint? So they want to ruin your project.
Just there.
So I will go lightly over Oh, that's nice, yes. Over, like so. And I keep applying that paint over and over. And I'm getting, so that you just want a light touch. Okay. So you just need a little bit, maybe on this area, just a light bit. You've got perfect amount, Joe. You don't need any more. Yeah, you don't need any more. So the reason you're doing this is it actually gives that project a bit of oomph. And if I just bring in the main project here, as you can see, I've brought the red elements from the background. Just wait for the camera to catch up.
Oh, sorry, they were on my, she's on mine.
So on my project here, the reason I've put the red in the background is because there is red elements here. And that red makes everything pop. It gives it a bit of body, a bit of life. If I just kept it monochromatic, it would have less life, less vibrancy. So this is why we're adding the red, because you don't want to just put red blobs here and red flowers when you haven't got any red in the background. It has to be cohesive. It has to be a cohesive design that all works together. Are you okay, Alex?
Yes,
that's it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Perfect.
Any more?
Nope.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Because you've got this nice bit here that shows your texture. And all you're doing is proving that if you showed somebody your project, it looks like Alex has not just plonked something on there and not thought about what's going on in the background as well. That's all it means.
Lovely.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our stencil, our lots of dots stencil.
Can I clean the paint?
Yes, you can, yes. So like I never clean anything. I'm now looking for ink blending tools because we've got that much on our desk. Oh, here we go. You should have one as well, Alex.
Yeah,
ink blending
just
tool.
under there.
Cool. Are we all right to have another look at yours? Where yours is at, Joe?
Yep.
Is that all right? Shall I?
Johnson.
Yeah, thanks. There you go.
Just my hint of red.
There you go.
You only need a hint. You don't need anything more. Cool. But look how Joe's background is different to our backgrounds.
I know.
That's what I like about it most.
There we go, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so now we're going to take our stencil.
So which side was the, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, as long as you've got a clean stencil and you're not going to... Make sure your stencil's clean.
Right, I think it is.
Yeah, so you've got an ink blending tool and of course a piece of cut and dry foam.
Brilliant.
So whichever you prefer at home, an ink blending tool or a piece of cut and dry foam, whichever your preference is. You need two, one for one colour and one for the other colour. And I purposely bought a new tool just for the show because sometimes ladies make the mistake of when they're blending, they don't add enough ink to the blending tool. Like everything with our tools, there's some priming, and some things do get better the more you use them. And that's the case with an ink blending tool, with the foam that you're using here, or with cut and dry foam. When you're adding the ink, make sure that you add a good layer of ink. So we're going to look at our two colours here. So we want Twisted Citron and Evergreen Bow. Okay, have you got both those ready?
Twisted Citron.
So we need Twisted Citron and Evergreen Bow. If you get those colours both ready in your Distress Oxides. Okay, and your Totally Dotty or whichever stencil you're using. So take your lids, okay, and what you need to do is you need to prime your blending tool, and that means is add a good layer of ink. Can you see that I'm doing that? I can share mine with you if you want, Alex, so you get more richer colour.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. That's what crafting's all about, sharing.
Where did I put my... Oh, there it is.
Let me just show this now. I know that my name will be mud after this, but can you see that the foam is still visible? I've only got a light layering of ink on that blending foam. That's no good. Don't try and blend with the blending tool like that when it hasn't got enough ink on. You need plenty of ink. Now with oxides, they're a bit more favourable. They blend a lot easier, but you need to add a lot more ink. So go back to your Distress Oxide and add more ink. Okay? This is what you do for, if you want to stencil properly, take the time and add depth to your designs, then this is what you need to do. Now, I'm holding my stencil in place. If you prefer to use a piece of low tack tape to hold your stencil in place, then that's your preference. I'm afraid I'm winging it and holding it in place. We're all winging it. Now, what I want to do, can you see when I lift the stencil like so, I can see my circle underneath here, where the edge is. Can you see? You can see that you're on a different side, but you can see. I don't want to go over that. I want to make sure that whatever circles I want to use around here, not onto the circle. Does that make sense?
It does.
If it makes sense to you, I might have a chance to the viewers. If it doesn't make sense to you, then I'm losing. So don't blend colour onto your already circle that you've done. You're aiming for the outside area.
Right.
And what you do is you don't go straight into a circle, you blend off the edge here. And you blend here and then come into your design and blend your colour. Hold your stencil in place and blend your colour. Keep blending and take time to keep blending that colour. And add, you're using a new tool, so add some more ink, Alex.
Yep.
Because we're not going for a ombre effect, you're going for depth. You're going for depth and richness. So just keep applying that colour over your stencil. Remembering not to go over that circle if you can help it. If you do, it really doesn't matter. But just blending ink.
There you go, sorry.
And if I lift this stencil up, can you see? You can see that I'm getting, that still isn't rich enough for me. I need more blending of colour. So go back to your ink pad, keep adding more ink, and just keep blending. If you were going for an ombre effect, then that's different. You wouldn't keep adding ink. I'm not going for an ombre effect. I'm going for depth and richness to my design.
Yeah.
So just keep adding that layer and just keep doing this at home. And yes, I know it takes patience, but you need to keep adding the layers to give you that richness to your design. Keep your hand in place and lift your stencil to see if you've got a nice richness of colour. I mean, that camera angle is perfect. It shows you that I've got the richness of colour, but for me, that is one depth colour.
Yeah.
That does nothing for your design. If that's what you like, that's fine. But for me, it needs more richness. So what we do now is we go to our next blending tool or our next piece of cut and dry foam. This time, again, really ink up your cut and dry foam, Alex.
Yeah.
Like you would your tool. So can you see? Cut and dry foam is denser. I love cut and dry foam because it takes the ink better. So really get in and circular motions and blend it so you've got nice richness of ink like so.
Like that?
Perfect.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do this time is, again starting off here, try to aim for the edges. Don't cover all that green up. So can you see here, Alex, this circle here? I'm not aiming to colour all the circle, I'm colouring half of it.
Right.
So I'm literally colouring half. And I keep using a circular motion. So can you see, Alex, there? And don't worry about lines, because we'll be going back over with the paler colour.
Okay.
So don't worry about lines. So just keep blending the colour over your stencil. And then you can keep lifting your stencil up as you move along.
Yeah.
Because then you can judge whether you're happy with that intensity of colour. So I'm lifting that up. And look how you're already getting a two-tone effect.
I like
but
that.
we've still got some lines there, so we'll get rid of those eventually. Just let's add a bit more. I told you, Leslie, I wouldn't rush it. I'm definitely keeping it nice and calm and relaxed. I don't want to rush everybody. So what I'm going to do now, Alex, I mean, that's lovely.
I really
lovely
like that.
richness.
Thank you.
So what you need to do now, you see Joe's exactly the same, beautiful richness. So now you're going to go back to the pale colour, which is your twisted citron, and go over the edges. You see where you've got lines? You see here, Alex, I've got lines on mine.
Yeah.
Go back over with the twisted citron.
Got you.
Just to blend it out a bit.
I'm just making sure because I moved it slightly.
Yeah, you can with this stencil, it's very forgiving. You can just line it back up again.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not easy if you move your finger, but a lot of ladies will use low-tack tape. I'm afraid I wing it.
So you're going over the full circles
now?
Yes,
because to blend them lines out a little bit. You still have a little bit, but it just blends it and gives it a softness.
Yeah.
And if I lift that up, you see, I love that. Look at the richness of that. I know it's very sad when it's your own background and you're going, oh, look at that, isn't it lovely? But this is what floats my boat.
It's instant shade, isn't it?
Yeah,
You've got instant light and shade.
Exactly, Joe. And it just looks, and it just gives a bit of oomph to the design. Does that make sense?
Cool. Does this one look all right, do you think?
That's beautiful, Alex.
Wonderful.
Really lovely.
Good.
Now, if you lift your stencil up, take a look at your design. Now, if I was at home, I'd take a picture. Now, I'd be saying to myself, am I happy with this? Because where's my paintbrush? My paintbrush. Because I'm having my paintbrush here, and then I'm going to have my cup, I don't want to overcrowd everything.
Right.
I don't want to use every bit of space and just plonk everything on without any thought about style. Or, you know, and it's got to have some style about it. It's got to look like you've thought about it, not, well, oh, anything will do. I'll just plonk it here and plonk it there.
You don't want a pizza, do you?
No, I don't want a pizza.
Right.
You need to, and sometimes it's a good idea to take a photograph. Take a photograph at this stage and then see what you're happy with. I'm happy with that blend. I don't want any more circles here because I like that openness to my design. So you just need to judge for yourself whether you're happy with the openness of your design or you want to add more stenciling. I don't.
Lovely.
I'm quite happy with that.
Now, are you all right just to pause just for a second as well? Again, just so you can catch up with any blending, etc. So just while, again, we take a little breather, is it Leonie? Yep, here's Leonie to tell you about Flexi Order.
Flexi Order has arrived at Hochanda. What is Flexi Order? When you place an item on FlexiBuy in your basket, you qualify for Flexi Order, which means any other items you add to your basket will also be included in your FlexiBuy payments, so you can spread the cost over multiple monthly payments. After your first payment is made, your entire order will be dispatched. When you add at least £60 worth of any items to your shopping basket, either online or on the phone, you'll qualify for our Flexi Order offer. This means you can spread the cost of your order over equal monthly FlexiBuy payments, offering you the extra flexibility when you shop with us. Flexi Order, making your shopping experience with Hochanda easier.
Right, so I can't believe how fast this Craftalong is going. We've got about 25 minutes left. So just so that you're, again, catching up, I'll bring in a few more samples again. These are Joe's. I love this. It's so cool. It's so mixed media-y, isn't it? So you've got that beautiful teacup, just an old rusted safety pin. How cool is that? Love the quirkiness in those flowers. It's beautiful. And then we've got this one again. This one's really good fun. Liking that. This is by Anne. Love that with the red paint. Shiny as well, actually. Really cool. And then got to show the ants. I do love the ants. They're really fun. Oh, sorry, that's that way. There we go. That's Anne's. But again, you know, you can be stamping onto your fabric. That's awesome, isn't it? I love that. How cool is that? There we go. So you can still, if you're wanting to, if you're feeling really inspired now, maybe you didn't buy the items for the Craftalong and you're thinking, actually, I'd really like to do this project now. You can still buy it, and then you'll be able to watch on rewind and take your time. And of course, I'm really enjoying myself. Lovely stuff. So it's there for you. 37.97 993 235. Right, back to you, Tracy.
So you now need to go to your piece with the tea bag on.
Thank you.
So you've got your tea bag, so just give you a few moments to, I know that your desk will be a right tip now, and you'll be thinking, where did I put the tea bag piece? So I know that you're probably all scurrying around, so if you scurry around for your tea bag piece, now just is it dry, Alex?
Mine's slightly wet.
So give it a little dry with your heat tool.
We've had a question from Anna.
Yeah.
Hello, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Oh, no, it's all right. I was just listening to Meg, and she said, can you achieve the same look with distress inks or oxides only?
Right, okay. What you have to remember with the distress inks are translucent. So when they're translucent, that means the colours sort of blend like this. You can make mud with distress inks. You have to be careful and know the colour wheel. I'm a bit lazy and I don't worry about the colour wheel, I just go for it. With the distress oxides, because they're a pigment diffusion, you can layer one colour on top of the other. Because they've got that pigment element, you've got less chance of making mud because the colours layer one on top of the other. You can get the blending technique where I blended the stencil. You can do that with distress inks, no problem at all. You get a nice blend, not quite as rich because of the pigment element in the distress oxide, because they're translucent, but they are brighter. So you get more of a brightness with them, where you get more of a cloudiness, more of a chalky effect with the oxides.
Right, brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much.
Hope that answered. So just give your tea bags a dry. Aren't we lucky that we're not using Joe's tea bags?
They take forever to dry.
Yeah, but can you imagine stamping onto them?
It'd be a bit tricky, wouldn't it?
be a bit chunky,
I
Jo.
may just do a project with those next week.
Yeah. But she was going to use them for her eyes, weren't
Yes,
you, Jo?
I think we might need them later.
Yeah, just put them on your eyes. So mine is nice and dry.
Yeah, I think mine is. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully at home you've just checked that that's nice and dry. Okay? So what you're going to do now is you're going to get your teacup, or whichever stamp you're using for the Craftalong, and we're aiming for this cup area, okay? So you need to ink the cup area. Doesn't matter what you get, but you're aiming for the cup area to go on the tea bag. Does that make sense? The cup area is going to be stamped onto the tea bag.
Do you also want the saucer?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you get a bit of that.
Right.
It's just, this is what I call finishing touches. You're adding this because you care about the finishing touches, the texture.
Right.
So we're just going to ink that up. And again, I know that you're probably bored of hearing me. Don't forget to give it a good ink.
Yep.
And just wipe away that blank space if you've got ink in the blank area. And in good old Tracy fashion, she has to stand up. Such a professional. So what we're going to do now is I've got mine on my acrylic block, and I'm placing, can you see, Alex? I'm placing my cup over my tea bag. Can you see?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether you get the handle, that's not important, but as long as you get the tea bag in the cup. But I want a bit of the edge of the tea bag, those lines in the cup. So can you see I've got the line? Can we move that, Alex?
That's all right.
Can you see there?
Yeah.
And I've put that in the way of your project,
Oh,
so
that's
the camera
right.
can't see you. So I'm just got it, so some of the lines on the edge of the tea bag are on my cup. Does that make sense, Jo?
Yes, yeah. I do like the sound of having a tea bag in your cup, though.
Just deciding which one I want.
So again, nice press. And Jo's been very civilised and not standing up, you see. I give away all my secrets, I'm standing up.
I normally do stand up at home.
You see, I just pretend I am at home, Jo. No, you just can't help myself. There's no hairs and graces when Tracy comes. You just forget it. So we just give that a nice press.
Yep.
And then we all go quiet when we're pressing the stamp, because we can't help ourselves, and because you get paranoid when you're on live TV that you might not stamp well. That's perfect. Perfect, Alex.
Lovely.
You see, when you use the correct amount of ink, you've got a good quality stamp, you always get a good image. Mistakes happen, obviously, but you always do get a good image. Now, Alex, can you see, which is my point exactly, say you've got that lovely line here of the tea bag, and then I said, if you end up with white space, you haven't got white space now, you've got that bit of colour.
Cool, yeah.
So it's perfect.
Oh, good.
So it works really well. In fact, yours has worked better than mine.
Oh, bless you.
So what we do is then, we just need to blot that.
Yeah.
So either blot it onto paper like Jo's doing, but you just need to make sure that you've got no ink. So it may be better to test it on some white card. Just test that you've got, that's gone on the floor. Just make sure that there's no ink coming off on that. You see that, Alex? I've just tested it on white paper.
Okay,
and it's
I will.
coming out. I'll give you my white paper.
Thanks.
Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut out the cup, including the handle. You're going to cut it out, not the heart. Don't worry about the heart, you'll lose the will. Just cut out the cup. Could you just tell me a time check, please, Alex?
Yeah, we've got about 15 minutes. Is that going to be all right?
Yeah. Where has that time gone?
Don't know.
It's just amazing.
Right.
So just cut out your cups. But I hope, you know, the viewers were happy with the pace, because I wanted to make sure that they didn't feel rushed.
We've had a picture while we're cutting.
Oh, brilliant.
This is from Avril. Hello, Avril.
Hi, Avril.
She says she's loving the show.
Look at that for craft room.
I know. Now we've really got craft
like a
room
whole
envy.
house.
Wow.
That's amazing. Oh, bless you. But I'm so pleased you're having a lovely time.
Thanks so much for joining in.
Thank you. But yeah, we've got craft
All
room
these
envy.
posh craft rooms.
I know.
Mine's so tiny.
Yeah, mine's not
Mine
big enough.
too.
Even though my other half would say, yes, it is. But
You
it's
need
not.
to cut out the inside of the handle as well.
Ah, right, okay.
Just to make it even more awkward for you, because I'm sorry, I can't have that bit in. The handle has to be open.
Yeah.
If you can't do that and just don't want to do it, this is your project, then don't do it. I will hold my cup up and show exactly what I mean if you just give me a few moments.
No worries, absolutely. Still got a
There
little
you
bit
go.
of time.
If I put that down like that, that's how I've cut my cup out.
Right.
Can you see? I don't like this open area not cut out.
Yeah.
It's your project. You don't have to cut it out if you don't want.
Cool. Sorry, I am slow with cutting. There we
Hey,
go.
Alice, you need a bit more practice at this
I know.
cutting. You need to do a few more Craftalongs.
I do.
There you go. You need to put your
Yeah.
word in for a few more Craftalongs.
I will. Jo, how are you getting along?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm just cutting the inside of the handle.
I like the colour of yours actually, because it is really teabag coloured, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's because me and Jo haven't got as much lovely colour as yours, but to be honest, Alex, I really love the colour showing through.
Hey, don't you think when you look at somebody else's work, it's like when you go out for a meal and you always look at somebody else's meal and think, oh, wish I'd ordered that.
Yes.
I find at workshops ladies are going, oh, I prefer yours.
Well, I know our lovely Meg, because Meg and I tend to go out quite a bit, and I'm like, can I try yours?
Does she let you?
Yes, she's lovely.
My husband's terrible. He's, no, this is mine. I've ordered it.
My other half has given up now. He's just like, here.
So I just need to, if you can, how are you doing with the cutter? So you
Where
pierce
is the
it with the tool.
Drop these little scissors.
So these little scissors, you pierce it.
Thank you.
Pierce your, that's it, pierce the centre.
Yeah.
And then, so if I...
Yeah,
that's
thank you.
So if I pierce it like so. Yeah. Forget that you're in a studio and the cameras can't see what the heck I'm doing. And then I'm just going to go round.
That's awesome.
Just like so. Yeah, yours has got lovely colour on.
Thank you. Oh, Jo, do you want to tell us, because you're in on Friday, aren't you?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday,
yes,
Thursday.
Yeah, close. Thursday, so I'm on at 8 and 12.
Lovely.
Yeah, with obviously some brilliant stamps, stencils and dies.
Nice. So make sure you're joining Jo as well, Thursday. Right.
Okay, ladies, so now we need to do the scary bit.
Oh.
It's not really. But I always find that I get to this stage and think, oh, I've got to stamp on the project now.
Right.
Look at Jo's face.
Oh, you didn't tell me we had to do that.
It won't matter because you've already got the cup, so even if you miss. Now, we're going to do something that all those professionals out there will be going, oh, you shouldn't do that. So can you see here, you've got this layer and you've got your circle here. So what have you got here?
A little ridge.
You've got a little ridge. You're never supposed to stamp on a ridge. But guess what? I don't care. Because this is my project. I want my teacup where I want my teacup. And I wanted that circle because it lifts the whole design. I didn't want to stamp it onto a flat area.
Right.
If I hadn't got that circle, it wouldn't count. It wouldn't float my boat. So that's why. So I'm breaking all the rules and I'm doing what you're not supposed to do.
Okay.
So again, I know that I'll bore you, but give your stamp a good inking.
So you're doing the whole stamp
The
now?
whole stamp.
Whole image, okay.
But please don't stress if you don't get a perfect image, because I probably won't. This is the one time where we're not making that excuse up for the sake of making it up because we've made a mess. We're being honest and we're saying we're doing something that goes against the grain. Okay.
Might stand up for this one.
Yeah,
then.
me too.
I knew that was coming. See, I told you I'd get them to stand up eventually. But don't worry if it isn't perfect. You know, this is a practice run for you, so then you can perhaps join in the All and Create Challenge with a different project.
Brilliant.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up.
Yeah, we're all standing up.
We're all standing up. This is it now. I bet this has never happened on a Craftalong. Everybody's standing up. So have a look at your project and decide where you want your teacup. So I want mine here. Let's make sure we've got everything. You know, Alex takes up quite a bit of room.
I do, sorry.
So just decide where you want your teacup. And then, that's it, I'm going for it. And then, don't move this finger. Make sure you give a good, firm press. Okay? So don't forget to move your brush before you put your stamp down, Alex.
Yeah.
Because ask me why I know that.
No, I was just thinking where I want that.
It's because I'm giving you all my mistakes that I've made.
Right, I'm going to go for it. Here we go. I was like, oh, committed quick.
So don't let your fingers go off your stamp. Keep one set of fingers on your stamp and then press around your stamp. Use your acrylic block to lift up a bit so you get some of the image. Don't forget, some detail might be missed where that ridge is.
Yeah.
But guess what? It won't matter because I'll show you the way around it.
We've only got,
a
like
fine
just
liner,
over
I'm
10
fine.
minutes.
You're joking?
No.
Well, let's just hurry this so that we at least do the background.
Stamping.
And I was saying, oh, I might go too fast. I might go too fast. What a joke.
So we won't be making the extra card then?
No, we won't be making the extra card. What was I thinking? I'll make an extra card because I'll talk too fast.
No, don't worry. Seriously, everybody is saying this is a perfect pace. So, oh, nice. Look at that.
And then I can tell you what we do then.
Okay, right.
But we're just... I need to make sure everybody's got all the steps.
Lovely.
Alex, that is perfect.
Yay.
Perfect, Jo.
Boom as well.
Boom. Let me show you because it's something as mine, which is what I exactly want to show.
May I show Jo's very quickly?
Yeah.
Look at that. Awesome.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, just come into it. Like, nice. Lovely, love that, brilliant. Love the splashes of red as well. Cool.
That is lovely, Alex. So if I can just get the camera to go in, again. If I can just get the camera to come in here, can you see here? That little bit there, where because I've got the ridge, because I wanted mine in that exact place, so it's not going to make any difference because my cup goes over there. So it makes absolutely no difference if you miss. So it's not a problem. We've gone against all the rules that all the professionals say, and you can still make it work. Don't be put off by things if you want it to work for you. So now we need to get our background stamp. Let's add some detail because sticking can be done even if the show's finished. So we need our background stamp. Yes, is it the heart? Was it heartfelt?
Yes.
Heartfelt. Okay. And you're using the stamp as is, not on an acrylic block. Now the reason we're adding this is because we want to add some more depth and some more layers to your design to make it again cohesive. So what I want to use is the evergreen bow, or where's one of the other colours? Have you got one of the other blue, the oxide?
Oh, they're here, sorry.
That's it, yes, thank you. I think I'm going to use the evergreen bow and the peacock feathers. And again, when you first learn stamping, there's always breaking rules, because normally when you stamp, you don't go to your stamp like this unless you're doing random background stamping. If you're doing random background stamping, then you can apply your ink like this. Never apply your ink like that if you're using a black ink pad and stamping an image. Always take your ink pad to your stamp. Don't take your stamp to the ink pad. Only time you can do that is when you're doing this and you're adding some random stamping. You'll see this detail in a minute. So you're not thinking about it too much. Can you see this random stamping here?
Yeah.
And that peacock feathers adds another depth of colour to your design. So you just need to add some to your background.
Oh, yes, yes,
Looks
yes.
lovely over the circles,
This
doesn't it?
stamp is just wonderful.
Really like it.
So as you can see here, can you see over the circle here, what a lovely detail that adds to your project. Absolutely wonderful detail. And because I'm adding another colour that's in the same spectrum, then it all blends beautifully. So just decide how much background stamping you want.
The hearts
Can I have a
are
time
lovely
check,
as
please,
well.
Alex?
Less than 10 now. We've got about 9 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
The hearts parts of this is lovely as well. I love the words on the background stamp.
Yeah.
But then the little bit with the hearts in is beautiful.
Get a bit down there. Lovely. Bit over there, I think.
And you end up talking to yourself, if you notice, when you're doing the background stamping. But I tend to, again, I don't go too over the top with the background stamping on this project because I still want to keep some open space.
Yes.
So let's just hurry a little bit so you get some of the detail.
Yeah.
Let me just show you. It doesn't matter whether you finish these, I can talk through the last stages because I don't want the viewers to miss out. I'm using an Inktense pencil, and what you need to do is draw around your circle with an Inktense pencil.
What colour have you gone for?
I've gone for a turquoisey blue colour, and I'm going for it because I'm going to do 2 lines.
Right.
So you can start with the, I'll do the blue.
That's all right.
Just to show the viewers. I don't have to finish mine. You can do yours. I'll just show this step. And then, so you draw around this edge with an Inktense pencil or whatever pencil will blend with water. And can you see, I'm reactivating it with water because this, thank you, this will blend the colour out, but this makes the circle pop.
Right.
It makes the circle pop.
Nice.
Gives it dimension, doesn't it?
Yeah. So you need to draw
So
around
just
the
round
whole
the
circle
edge of
with
this.
there. That's it. So you're going round the whole circle.
Oh, the whole circle.
The whole circle. I've only done this bit because I want to keep the make sure the viewers. There's only 9 minutes left.
I know.
I want the viewers to know what the finishing touches are.
Okay.
So you go round your complete circle with an Inktense pencil or a pencil of whatever shade you prefer, and blend the ink out. And then, so you go round the full circle.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you go round again with the green.
Damn.
So you end up with. Does it matter? No,
It's fine, it'll add
It's all right. I'll
makes no better. You're going to go round with the green. So hopefully the camera work is getting that. You can see I've gone round with the blue.
Yeah.
And I've gone round with the green. And then blend the 2 colours.
Thank you.
Just so that you get that blend. And you can see that will make everything pop. It just means that it's not blending into the background. It's going to lift that tone up. Okay.
Nice.
Almost makes it look like put it on 3D foam
Exactly.
pads.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it look, and again, it's all about a cohesive design. It's just making it all work properly.
Right.
So let's get some flowers. Now the viewers, you can do this in your free time. Okay. So what you need to do, obviously we've only got 9 minutes, so you can do.
We've got like 4 minutes now.
4 minutes.
Yes,
Oh, for goodness sake! 4 minutes. Let me bring the project in.
Yeah. You all right there?
Let's talk you through these stages. Where that time's gone, I will never know. Let me bring the main project in.
Okay.
Okay. So just so that you can finish it off at home, if necessary, if you want me to do a Facebook Live for the finishing touches, just message me and I can do that.
I bet that'll be a big yes.
So what you do here is you cut out your flowers. So that's easy to do. You adhere your cup, adhere your flowers. That's easy for everybody to do. You can do that in your own time. And all I've done here is add touches of paint in blobs or with your finger onto my paintbrush. Can you see, Alex? I'm just adding.
I love that.
So this adds that red to there. Okay? Now just to make that brush, I don't want to rush these steps. I'm just trying to get it through because 4 minutes is not long.
No.
I then added, can you see here, I've added some little embellishments here.
Love those.
They're like little nail screws from Tim Holtz, my finger's in the way. Some nail screws. That just makes it look authentic. And then you could add a what do you call them?
Brad?
Eyelet. Eyelet through there, and that would look nice as well. And then your finishing touch is just your sentiment stamped onto masking tape. And I've done it onto masking tape because it's a different texture. You know, if you read, I mean, these are finishing touches that seriously anybody could do. You know, you're not missing techniques. Yes, it's a technique onto the masking tape, but you're not missing anything. I wanted to keep it at a pace that was for everybody because I know a lot of ladies have messaged me and said they don't like to be rushed. So I hope, even though I didn't quite finish the project, that you still enjoyed the process.
Absolutely.
And just some finishing touches is some doodling around your circle.
Oh, yeah.
Some little doodling. Can you see the doodling around your circle?
Is that with a micron pen?
With a micron pen. And some little splatters of paint, cohesive design, bringing in the red.
Like that.
And then some jump rings. Adding some jump rings for an extra texture. But just so that you understand my thinking, can you see how it's cohesive? You've got the red in the background, the red in the foreground, the focal image. Everything is cohesive, and just a couple of red dots and some cotton fibre.
And then is that even like a little bit of metal around
this
there?
This is just some wire.
Oh, wire, yeah.
That you just wrap around your paintbrush like so. Can you see? You just wrap it around and that's it. And please don't forget the little ant.
I love, you've just
I stamped the little ant.
He's very cute, isn't he? Look at that.
You can't forget the little ant. So I hope that was okay.
Oh, it was amazing. I've had such a blast. Seriously, we should have a look at...
You're going to put your brush on it.
I could do. Where's it?
Even if you just hold it, it would look...
Should we hold them together? And then this one.
Can you tell me where, can I ask where 2 hours went?
You did say, didn't you, Jo?
It does fly when you're enjoying yourself, doesn't it?
And when you can waffle as well, Jo.
No, it's so good. And it's interesting because they are all different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of a project. They're all different. But I hope you enjoyed it.
I have had a blast. I'm like, can I take some of the flowers home?
You can cut you some out, ready?
Because it was so nice. Thank you. Oh, what were you going to say?
Can I just say thank you to everybody for tuning in? So I really appreciate you tuning in, so thank you very much.
Lovely. We've literally got... Oh, we've got a picture, very quickly. Dave and Brig. Hello, Dave and Brig.
Hello.
Bless you. So you've also been enjoying the craft along. Loving that, Dave. See, again, those colours are
they're brilliant. And I've met Dave and Brig as well.
Yes,
so,
me too. We went round the NEC together,
Oh,
which
yes,
was
that's
really
where
nice.
I met them as well.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Thanks for joining in.
Bless you. So, if you want as well, obviously, because this is lovely, watch on rewind because then you'll get Tracy just talking through those last things again. You can pop it on pause and do it piece by piece as well, which is marvellous. So, just very quickly then to finish off, just these last couple of samples. Let's see. So again, just some more inspiration because now you've got the stamps.
Debbie and Anne.
Yeah, Debbie and Anne. I was wondering who did this because I didn't have a name.
Debbie's so good with soft furnishings and material. And that is excellent.
Beautiful. So again, just to give you, and I'm I'm sure that there will have been lots of people who've also been popping on the All and Create Fanatics website as well. And what was your, we've got literally about 50 seconds, what was your, again, your challenge?
The challenge, we're going to run a challenge starting tomorrow, and there'll be some giveaways just to see how you were inspired by my Craftalong. You'll be able to use any stamps, but we'll make up a challenge for tomorrow. We'll post it on the All and Create Fanatics page, and if you want to join in, just to get us all going for January.
That would be lovely. And also, don't forget to join Jo on Thursday. Can you give a sneak peek of what you're bringing?
No. It's all secret.
Not allowed. But Thursday, you said you're going to be on at 8 a.m.
8 and 12. Yes.
8 and 12. So please do join Jo as well. And now, if you do want the Craftalong, it is still on screen because you might have not got it yet, but you've gone, I totally want to make this now. So it's £37.97. You'll be able to watch this on Rewind for at least, I think it's a month. There you go. But these are Tracy's fantastic designs. I love how they've got a lovely quirky feel to them, these.
Yeah, that's me all over.
Yeah, it's really nice. So that is £37.97 and your item number is 993235. Now, once you've finished off your project, pop them again onto the All and Create.
Oh, definitely. Please share,
Fanatics.
please.
Also onto our Hochanda, Crafting with Hochanda, because we'd love to see as well, so do share. But I've had an absolute blast. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you, Tracy.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Jo.
Thank you, Jo.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, right, we've got more coming up after this short break. Stay tuned. And coming up next, we have got Pearlywinks. Yay, they're in the building with some gorgeous colours and wonderful inks, of course. Then we've got Bozel Bag One Day Special and SAA Get Messy with Lou.
Yes, in what a Craftalong, eh? That was, oh, I watched it every single bit. But brand new 7-day savers, they launched this morning at 8 o'clock. These are just a few of the plethora that we've got online. Let's start with your Tonic Studio scissors. We've got 2 pairs of your little snippers, well, 2 pairs of your scissors and your little snippers as well. They're in there. 5 inches, you're getting both exactly the same. I've just taken the front off this one just so you can see the point that's on there with your Tonic scissors as well. £12.97 for this entire collection, just for 7 days or until they sell out. Your item number 305732 is your item number for your Tonic scissor collection. Then we've got Pearl mini card collection next. They're all pre-scored, so you can pre-fold them, make your little cards. They're 4x4, and you get the array of colours that are in there as well. Maybe they're for your mats and for your layers. Maybe they're for, I don't know, you're going to make little cards. You're getting 50 pieces in total for £9.99. The details are on the screen, 028862. And last but no means least, purple tape. We've heard of red liner, we've now gone purple, but this is like a masking tape. So this is good for taping. Maybe you want to tape your dies down. Maybe you tape your dies down before they go through a machine. Maybe you want to, well, there's so much you can do. I haven't got time to talk anymore. Jump to the website. 7-day savers are there for a whole week. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Maggie and I'm from Impressions Crafts. I've been running my business now for 15 years. It's a small family-run business in the south of Cheshire. We have a large craft shop. We sell all sorts of beading and jewellery supplies. I have a passion for making jewellery. I love working with the loose seat style flower beads, and we make thousands and thousands of angels and have been doing so for the last few years. We've been bringing to Hochanda lots of lovely beading kits, jewellery for necklaces and bracelets and earrings, and we also bring a wide range of angels and accessories, beading accessories like bookmarks, and we also have our range of laser cut sun catchers and mobiles, all the lovely crafty beads. Hope you can tune into my shows and looking forward to seeing you on Hochanda.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon.